And so it is with children. They will have a better chance to flourish, all of them, if they have room to grow and are cared for and loved, especially when they are small. Like a tree, a small child needs a friendly, congenial climate. A climate which comes for the child mainly from the warmth of the parents' love for each other. But even the older children flourish in such a climate. A child needs deep roots, firmly planted in a strong feeling of family. Such a child, grown to manhood or womanhood, is better able to face the storms and droughts of adult life. But let us see how a man can grow his trees and his children. What a man and his wife can do and be to help their children or their trees best fulfill their own nature. When Juan Tomas plants trees, he picks the best soil he can find. A man and his wife are themselves the earth from which their children grow. But this earth is made up of more than just the bodies of the parents. There are other things in it, difficult to see, with which we nourish our children. There is an inner strength and dignity and gentleness that can flow out from a woman who is happy and content with her husband. With such a quality in her, a woman can love children, all children, more warmly, more freely.
De cuántas hojas por dar el suelo, ya de los lirios.
The children who are raised in an atmosphere in which there is love flourish and are fortified by it.
Verde palmar, ya del soberbio verde palmar.
There is the respect that a man may have for himself. This too can fortify those around him. For when a man truly respects himself, when he feels deep inside without having to think about it, I am what I am, no better and no worse, and I find it good. Such a man sees the true value in each person around him and accepts it as good. And because such a man and how he feels has a strong influence in his house, each person in it, even the very little one, feels also that he is of some value and importance. All of them can feel deep inside without having to think about it. I am what I am, and I find it good, because my Father finds it good. The man who understands trees or children can be firm, but he can also be patient and gentle. When a young child is old enough to dig holes, it is useless for a father to get angry and say, "Don't dig." He would not say to a tree, "Don't grow." A wise parent understands that playing is part of the growing of a child, part of the business of learning how to be a man. Young trees and young children will need careful attention for a long time. A wise man never plants more trees than he can care for. Fewer trees, well spaced, properly cultivated, will grow better than many trees planted too close together. It is a foolish man who brags, "Look how many trees I have planted," forgetting that he may not be able to care for them properly, forgetting how much water young trees need. The care of boys and girls continues even when they are almost fully grown.
Good evening. Or afternoon, depending on where you are. Hello. Looking good today, Charis? Thank you, Axe. Thank you, Axe. You know, I've forgotten that this is something I do, where whenever I do like a reading stream, I used to swap to like a different I'm losing my words here. I would take my jacket off.
Good evening, Charis. Looking very preganty today.
That's not the compliment you thought it was, or maybe it is, and never mind.
Yes, Axe for the fanfic reading.
And I haven't really actually done that in a while. I haven't really done any reading in a while. Because all the time that I would have spent probably doing like a reading thing, stream or otherwise, I've just spent like tirelessly
we can
slaving
actually
away
talk
at,
again.
like, making a video. You can, yeah. So, and anyway, yeah. So, okay, let me address that first. Welcome back, everyone, and your voices. You are now allowed to express your opinion, although very limited.
_chair heart.
Hello, everyone. And if I don't like it, I will strike you down, and you won't get to express your opinion anymore. But, like, you know, regardless, right? This is in reference to a bug that happened, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, when YouTube couldn't figure out why they'd banned English in chat. And so people could not communicate in English. If their chat message was just in English, it would not send, apparently. And so the way around that was either to use emojis, but later, some people found that you can actually just put the English words in and then add like...
LMAO.
Add like add like some text from a different language. Ideally not a European one. One that uses, you know, a large part of the alphabet. I couldn't do that trick, so I was just writing in Spanish. Did it? I feel like it got past the filters, actually. You know what? Actually, no. I think European languages worked as well. I don't remember. I wasn't too locked in on that. I think we were more focused on Axe and I. Axe who's here right now.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
Hello. Axe and I were probably too focused on... What were we doing? Dating monsters in a prom. That's what we were busy doing. So I wasn't paying too much attention to that whole debacle. I appreciate everyone for adapting very quickly and learning how to speak in hieroglyphs, and then promptly going to like a separate thread in the general chat of that stream and then typing there instead. I'm gonna be honest. I had it open, but I haven't really read it, or at least I didn't read all of it. And by that I mean I read probably like in passing, at most maybe 5 messages from that. Silencing women. What a great look on Women's History Eve. What? Wait. When's Women's History? Shit. Women's History. It's March 8th. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm the real feminist here, actually. And I didn't just Google it just now. That International Women's Day was on like March 8th. That
on
was I didn't have to Google that. What do you mean?
Would Charis Euphranor sing a song in the library of Alexandria in English or a made-up language like they do Hoyo games?
Like they do in the Hoyo games. I don't know. I haven't thought about it. I feel as though, lore-wise, it would be in English. Yes, it would probably be in English. In contemporary English, might I add. So, you know, in 100 years, when somebody watches this VOD, inevitably, when I eventually become a renowned phenomenon, then people have to study like every piece of me, which includes all the horror games I play or something, and all the dating sims that I inevitably go through, including, of course, the VOD of this stream.
March 8th is International Women's Day. March is Women's History Month.
Of course, yes, indeed it is. Of course, I would be speaking contemporary English, that being the contemporary language Western society has engaged in for the past, I want to say 10 years. So I would say maybe like the 2010s to the 2020s is when Charis Euphranor's language sort of exists in. That's the context of it. For any future historians out there, I just wanted to clarify that, even though you probably could have figured that out from the context clues, but you know. When is the women's history? Across all time, one would imagine. True, Ari, true. That's why I wasn't sure. That's why I was like, I don't know if I remember this, because isn't every day like Women's History Day month? Every day we celebrate women. Today, I celebrated women. I did. I celebrated women. It's true. I did. I complimented someone who was a woman. I did do that today. I complimented like men too, but you know, but it was a gesture of respect, of course. Taking notes. Are you going to make a stream during March of you apologizing to every female subscriber of yours by name? No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I might do something better. But I'm not doing that. He can't call today. No, man. No, I didn't know. No, that's not what happened. No. Anyways, so it's kind of that you have the vernacular of millennial. Look, I don't want to be verbose. I tend not to be. I think I engage in relatively simple and accessible language, and I think that's part of the appeal, is that I just nothing I say is ever too like laborious to the mind and soul. Like it's very resonant, you know. People know what I'm talking about. Right? He threatened to silence us again today. It's not true. That's slander. It's literally slander. Anyways, what are we doing today? We're reading fanfic. Your fanfic. Which is to say, like, Estella's and Zero's fanfic. Is it Zero's fanfic? Who wrote Everybody Wants a Slice? Who wrote that? There's no like author signature in the fic, which I'm not disappointed by. I understand, but like I feel like you should put your name on the work you make, okay? Victor wrote that one? Yeah, Victor's fic. Sorry, Zero's fic was the one we read. I'm confused because I think when I was looking for these and I went back through the messages, I found Zero linking Victor's fic, and I found Victor linking Zero's fic, and I was like confused. I was a little confused. Anyways, mine ain't finished though. That's fine. That's fine. Nothing's ever, well, everything's, I was gonna say nothing's ever finished. Actually, things are finished all the time, and part of the difficulties in accepting that things are finished. What is this? Reading women's literature written by the greatest feminist minds. Like the people in this Discord? I mean, sure, I guess. Well, regardless. That's the main thing we're doing today. The other thing we're doing today, right, is we're actually going to, and we haven't done this in a long time. And you might be wondering why it's part of every, or maybe you aren't, maybe this naturally makes sense, this stream, why this is a February stream, you know, because perhaps the content of the fics are about to read. But also, this is like me showing appreciation for the community. stream. So what that means is once I do the stream, and whenever someone goes, Charis Euphranor is so mean, he doesn't acknowledge the fan artists and like the other various things that his community does for him, then I'll point to this stream and I'll go, look, I literally spent a whole stream talking about you and you guys and how amazing you guys are. Particularly when you make various depictions of me, of course, and my likeness and image. But but also maybe in general, once in a blue moon, you know, whatever. So this is my kindness, of course. That is entirely contingent upon it being all about me. Looks like we're back. Looks like we're back. I need to put these new bits of art. I'm not going to put them on the wall yet because I forgot to do that. I was supposed to do that probably before stream. I'm going to put them on the wall later. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you the art. And I have not even downloaded the past few bits of art. Like there's been new art since I've just gone through them. But I'll do that. I'll do that like now actually. This is Fanart. Which copy? Which piece is this? This is Fanart 72. Wait, 72? Holy shit. Fanart 72. That's actually crazy. What the fuck? Fanart. So I number these in order. But some of them are out of order, and that's okay. And some of them are not labeled consistently or not named consistently. It's fine. Alright, 74. So realistically, like if I'm on 75 right now, it really means I'm at like 78 or something, but whatever. I think we're on 75 now. Okay. That's pretty crazy. I haven't done this in a long time. Like talk about the fan art because I did it once and then I was like, well, I don't think I'll really have to ever worry about doing that again. I don't think this is going to be a recurring thing because like how likely would that be? And since then, like I think the last time I did a stream where I dedicated a significant portion of the stream to talking about the fan art was like when we were maybe like 20 pieces of art in, and then I was like, okay, I give up. I'm gonna just put them on the wall, and then that'll be my acknowledgement of it or something. and then my wall has consistently not been up to date to the newest like contributions for the past few months, and that's entirely my fault. This is something like I'm gonna drop the character for a second and actually say that it's like my fault and it's my bad, and I actually really hope you don't, like, if you're an artist and you've done something of me and you see that I haven't put it in my wall even though I saw it and think like, oh, it's because he thinks it's bad. No, it's actually because like I need to get off my ass and do it. So it's like my fault. It's entirely my fault. It's so all of my fault. But this is the stream where I say that, and then I'm never going to say that again. Okay, so you can hear it now, and I'm not going to ever say that again. Because it's actually never my fault. Nothing's ever my fault. I'm writing fanfic too, but it's not Charis Euphranor related.
Yeah, you are reading the FIC. I helped with the brainstorming, the title, and some jokes, but if you don't enjoy it, then it was all Victor.
If I don't enjoy them, it was all Victor. Alright, okay. Thank you, maybe. Thank you. I'll be sure to mark down the parts that you helped with and critique them more harshly than the other ones. It's really difficult to imagine you catcalling. The only way you see it happening is in the scene from Disco Elysium where you fail the skill check when you first encounter a woman. What the fuck? You fail a skill check when you first encounter a woman. That could literally never be me, actually. That could never be me. That could never be me. I'm so good at encountering women. No, we recognize that you acknowledge the fan artists and authors. We just want you to also respect your audience if they aren't providing something of worth for you. This isn't a brothel. Yeah. So like that. So the ironic bit of it is obviously me going like, you are of no value to me unless you contribute something that perpetuates the VTuber machine. And this is the stream to make that clear. This is the stream where I have to drop the character a bit again. I have to emphasize that this is a slightly out of character stream. Like, I don't think Charis Euphranor would do this, because I think Charis Euphranor would not acknowledge that things around him are real. But but like I think that there's sometimes an anxiety I have. I'll share this. Sometimes there's an anxiety I have where I'll click go live and nobody's there. And that doesn't keep me up at night. But like on occasion I think about that and go, fuck. I hope that never happens. And that is entirely out of my control. There's like some influence, I can have over it. Like, for example, if I were to stream like Baldur's Gate 3 part 76, then I can expect that maybe nobody tunes in. But like, eventually it does, if it would happen.
This is one of the stream ideas of all time.
Indeed it is, Vi. Indeed it is. It's certainly, it is one of them. It wasn't the best one, but I thought it was appropriate, because I think what this does is it cements the parasociality a little bit. It allows me to have my cake and eat it too. It allows me to say, did you know parasocial bad? And then turn around and go, actually, I really like each and every one of you as individuals. Especially, and then here's the kicker. I only do that if you provide something to me that I can use as like fuel for content. And that's the sinister part of this transactional, like, parasocial relationship.
This stream is technically BC of me. You guys are WLC.
Thank you, Lynn. I don't know why this stream is technically because of you. I don't remember the reason, that reason being. I just remembered I needed to read the fanfic, and I haven't done that. So, yeah. Jokingly, I hope it happens at least once to humble you. Sincerely, I'm glad that you value your presence enough to worry about this. So the thing is, like, I've been Jedi mind training for that scenario since like 2 years before I debuted. 2 years before I debuted, I was like Jedi, like, practicing. I was like, I need to be, because here's the thing. I'm scrolling on r/virtual YouTubers, looking at other people do this and like psychoanalyzing them from their Reddit posts, right? So, which is a very Charis Euphranor thing to say. So like. So I've been preparing very early on for the types of moping that happens on that subreddit. And without getting into details, essentially it's either fan art of like the people from Hololive or very, very, very big indies that get like thousands of upvotes, or it's like tens to like hundreds of upvotes of people going like, is anyone else burnt out? Does anyone else feel like they're like talking to nobody? Does anyone else want to give up? And then it's a bunch of people coming together on the stream, or on the stream, sorry, in the thread forum, talking to each other and like patting each other back, going like, it's okay, one day you'll make it. And then none of them make it, and it's like really sad. And I'm not dissing them and saying they're all bad. I'm just saying maybe about half of them are bad or not bad, as in like not very entertaining. Anyways, but half of them probably are. Half of them probably, at least half of them are probably kind of entertaining and could have an audience. And it just so happened that they're not lucky. Like, they are not fortunate, they do not stumble upon the thing that helped them, and they're not growing, and they're not willing to, like, put their nose to the grindstone, because I can understand that can be dehumanizing, right? Of course, posting shorts of yourself and advertising yourself a certain way, and playing up something that isn't quite true and genuine and authentic to yourself in order to get clicks and views. Anyways, like, not everyone's willing to do that, and those people, a lot of those people, are stuck at, like, being 1-2 viewer Andys. A lot of them. And like, they will click go live and they'll talk for like 2 hours to nobody, like they're recording a YouTube Let's Play, and then end it, and then that's it. And that really sucks. That sucks. I cannot imagine a more difficult experience than being a streamer with like 1 viewer. That's horrible, man. That sucks. But because of that, because I was so initially, right, I was so averse to that, I decided to Jedi mind train myself. I was like, if I'm gonna debut as a VTuber, I need to be ready for at least a year, at least 1 whole year where nobody gives a shit. At least 1 whole year. Like, so I, in my head, kept training myself on like the worst case scenarios, right? This is just, I guess, maybe who I am, like who I am as a person. I train myself mentally on the worst case scenarios that happen. I practice like the things I'll say in like a mirror, maybe, or like in the shower. This is just what I do in a crisis situation, or not even in a crisis, preparing for a crisis situation that doesn't actually happen, but like I'm just doing it to prepare for just in case it does, right? Like I have rehearsed lines for like if I get diagnosed like
Hand pink waving.
with a terminal disease. Like I've done that. I have literally stared at my mirror and started talking to myself and like practiced a speech that I would give to like my friends if I were diagnosed with a terminal disease. I'm like very healthy. I am, relatively speaking, a very healthy individual who's not had anything chronic happen to him yet. Like this is not really a realistic concern. I've just sort of practiced it, you know? Like I don't know why. I've just been, anyways, I've been so I've been training myself for like the viewerless experience for a very, very long time. Just testing
He's
the waters
having a
of
mini
what can be
crisis
worse and worse
yapping
and worse.
moment.
And
Except for the sleep apnea.
this fuck shit.
You should probably get on that.
I didn't think. I literally like last night, or not last night, this morning when I woke up, I had like a little bit of trouble breathing as usual, and then but then immediately what flashed in my mind wasn't so much the word sleep apnea. I was like, something's wrong with me. I need to get that checked. And I remember discovering that in the Omegaverse stream. What is that? And I kept thinking for words, and I thought loner alpha, and then I thought omega, and then I thought beta. I was like, those aren't the words. Those aren't the words. Dig back to the stream, Charis. Dig back to the stream. I'm imagining the web browser. Like I'm imagining like the off-topic rants and conversations, and then I'm digging through the file in my brain. This is, bear in mind, this is me on my bed, digging through the files in my brain, and then stumbling upon the word sleep apnea. So now that I have that, thank you for reminding me again. Maybe I should get that. I'm sure it's fine. Look, I'm like look, I have no time to go to the doctor. I gotta I gotta grind YouTube video essays that will never come out and actually just sit in the writer room forever. Anyways, what was I talking about? I was talking about like having no viewers. I was talking about having no viewers. To summarize the thought, I suppose, I've been practicing for that a lot. And since I've debuted and had a few people, I knew I would have a few people in my debut, and I was expecting it to drop sharply after maybe like 2-3 streams. And indeed, it dropped in the sense that like a lot of people left who were there initially. They quickly lost interest. That I predicted. What I didn't predict was that some people hung around, some new people joined, and more importantly, like I'd have a somewhat of an explosion relatively quickly into starting, and like have been able to maintain that consistency. Which I am immensely grateful for, because if you weren't here, I would be way angrier as a person, and not like performatively angry, but like internally angry. I think. I don't know if I would definitely be more sad, but that's like, you know, that's a given. But I think like I would also be more angry, and I don't know why. I don't know what I would do as a slightly angrier person. Like I wouldn't do anything bad to anyone else. I'd probably beat myself up over it, but I don't know. I just kept on thinking I'm doing this for the VOD thumbnail. Wait, what? As in you're watching because you're like, I need to get to the VOD thumbnail now? Or you're saying I'm thinking of the VOD thumbnail? Like eventually that someone will write fanfic of me. No, I did not think anyone would write fanfic of me. Actually, I didn't think that would happen. I thought that would happen like way into the future, not like right now. The fucked up thing is that you literally know something individually about all of us who are in the Discord, so you kind of are interacting with us on an individual level more than a collective level. Yeah, but you're not supposed to know that, and nobody's supposed to know that. Yes, but nobody who's watching the stream, including you, should know that. So just pretend like you don't know that. That I interact with people on the Discord. Just pretend like that doesn't happen, okay? What is he talking? I forgot what I was talking about. I'm sorry. I don't think that sounds mentally well. I think it's mentally probably okay for now, I think. Except for the sleep thing. That one's probably bad. That one I should probably, like, deal with. Do you have a speech for when you get burnt out or get a 12-page Google Docie? I have a speech for a 12-page Google Docie. I have a speech for when, or for if, when, no, for if I ever get doxxed. I have a speech, like, explaining who I am. Like, I have, like, a whole, my name is Walter Hartwell White, and I live in, I forget where he lives in. I have not for a burnout. I don't have a burnout speech because I will start drafting the burnout speech when I feel like an increment of burnout. I do not feel any increment of burnout. I feel the opposite. Burnout is like when, like, you feel like you're doing it too much and you can't anymore. Like, you just need a break. I don't think I have that for, like, YouTube. I don't. Not yet. Full offense, if you never get that checked, no woman is ever going to want to sleep in the same room as you. I'm so serious. My brother has sleep apnea and I refuse to share a hotel room with her. I think that this doesn't happen when I'm sleeping with somebody else in the room. I actually don't know why, but I don't think like I've asked, like, my family. I've definitely thought about, like, the potential, like, negative causes of that. And, like, whether or not that's impacted, you know, anyone around me growing up. No one in my family has said that I've, you know, that I've
You have selective
anything out of the
mutism,
ordinary.
but for sleep apnea.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. Oh, sorry, Fi, you were saying earlier, being a zero view Andy was pretty terrible. I just kept on thinking I'm doing this for the VOD thumbnail. Ah, okay. Yeah. I get that. When,
Did you
like,
know my
when
cat
I first
snores?
started, that was what I was thinking as well. Did you know your cat snores? I did not know that. That's an interesting thought. I don't think I've heard a cat snore yet.
Hello Chairboy, I'm glad chat works now so that we can properly torture you.
Properly? I don't know what you mean by that. Anyways, like, what was I saying? Yeah. I was very fully, like, pushing myself into the mentality of, like, when I start off live streaming, I'm gonna pretend like I'm not streaming. I'm gonna pretend like I'm recording, and I'm just gonna, like, make streams where I'm recording, and then I'm gonna edit them, and then I'm gonna review them, and then I'm gonna hone my skill in my craft, and I'm gonna release videos like Markiplier or something. That shit did not happen. That shit did not happen at all, okay? I did not go back and watch my old streams because, like, I don't have much time in the day. I sit down, I click go live, I talk for 4 fucking hours, and then, like, when I'm done, I'm exhausted. My ass is not gonna be like, okay, let's go back on the VOD immediately and start, like, cutting through the 4 hour. No, man, I'm not doing that. I can't do that. Plus, it's like I wouldn't know what bits were good because if I hear myself, I love hearing myself. I love myself. I love the jokes I make. That's why I make them. I like the things I say, and that's why I say them generally. So I don't know which parts of these are good and which parts are bad because I think all of this is good, but I'm biased because I'm me. Anyways, eventually, someday I'll, like, hire an editor, maybe, or not. Like, we'll see. Would you be snappy at a particular viewer? If you asked for it, no. Like, if you wanted me to snap at you, I wouldn't. But if you didn't, I might consider it. Can we hear the speech? No, you're not hearing any of the speeches that are not, like, scheduled to arrive until they do. Just use the Samsung Apple Watch you got for Christmas to track your sleep. I don't have an Apple Watch. I don't use a smartwatch. I don't believe in those. Have I told you guys that, like... Is this lore I'm sharing? Hold on, let me think about this. I think I can share this. Yeah, sure. Because I saw like, because one of the recent fan, you know what? I'm gonna like segue this. That's not the image. That's not the image I wanted to show. That's not the image.
LMAO.
That's not the image I wanted to. Hold on, I gotta. I don't. Wait. Hold on. It's not the image. That's not what I wanted to show you. This is what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you this one. So I got this art from KT, also known as Cocaine Chan, who I'm never going to type out the words Cocaine Chan for in my like YouTube descriptions because I don't want to, you know, get flagged or whatever. So you're just KT on those things, but like I guess I can recognize you as Cocaine Chan if you really want to go by that name that I was really hesitant to read initially, but have now realized that I don't really care. I'll say the word cocaine, I'll whatever. I'll say the word.
I'm not gonna like laughed at Hannah's brothel comment. Also gotta ask Akian if he snores now. Hi, I'm fashionably late.
Hello, Tia. I mean, sorry. Hello, fashionably late. I'm Charis Euphranor, the first and last philosopher to be the last librarian of Alexandria, and I just wanted to really talk about this piece of art. It's really nice. I really like it. It's so good. I wanted to draw
I like
attention
the name
to this,
crack cause it means cool _ chair think.
because there's a watch here. You can see this, right? There's a Hello Kitty watch here, which is a nice touch. Now, first thing I wanted to say is, and this is not like critique. No, this is not critique. I love this. This is fantastic. This is not critique. But I want to like clarify maybe two things so that in the future, if you really wanted to do that, you could keep that in your mind. And if you don't care and you want to continue drawing me with like a Hello Kitty wristwatch, you can. You can absolutely do that. You can absolutely do that.
So baby girl.
So I wear my wristwatches on my left hand. Or on my left arm, sorry. And two, I wear a, you know what, just cause it's today and just cause I'm being thankful, I wear a watch, a silver watch. I'm not doxing myself. I don't think anyone would ever find me from this information, but I wear like a silver watch sometimes, or usually sometimes I wear it, but I always have it with me. So if I'm not wearing it, I'll carry it with me as well. It's a watch. It's a plain silver analog watch. It's metal, and it's very, very simple. It's very plain. And there's a fake, there's even like a fake brand logo on it. It's not a real brand. It was like a made up brand, but it was like, the reason is because the watch is a prototype watch. It's like a demo watch. It's a prototype watch that isn't like a real thing you can buy. And I wear this watch because,
limited edition.
well, it's not even a limited edition. It's like there's nothing like it because it's a demo watch. Like it's not meant to exist. It wasn't meant to exist and be worn beyond its initial, purpose of just showcasing like the metal that was used to like make it, I think, or like the glass case of the wristwatch. Anyways, like I don't remember what it was exactly a demo of, but it was like a demo of something. But I was like, I want it. Let me backpedal a bit. My dad was a watchmaker, and okay, the way I said that sounded
Canon
like
ignored.
I have a dead
Fanon
parent.
Hello
No,
Kitty
he's like
watch head
fine.
canoned.
He's like alive, but like he said, the way I said that sounded like I have a dead parent. No, he's like alive, but like my dad was a watchmaker, and I really, I wear it because it's like, well, one, because my dad made it, but two, also because like, it's really cool. Because it's cool in the sense of like conceptually, I feel like this is a great, fantastic like thing. Like almost like a it's not really a statement piece in most of my outfits. It's very subtle and it works a lot with my other outfits, but it's like a piece that I wear with me all the time because I'm like, this is who I am. probably. Like, if one thing on my body had to represent, that I put on my body had to represent me in any way, it would be this watch. It would be this demo watch that was never meant to see the light of day, that had a purpose and served its purpose and was, like, just something and does not exist anywhere else, and was just somehow picked up through sheer fortune and exists now. And nobody knows that story except for me, obviously, and now you, I think. So, like, in the future, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to draw me in, like, casual wear, and you don't have, like, a specific agenda, like a Hello Kitty plastic watch you want to put on my arms or whatever, and you want, like, an extra detail, I guess that's, like, a detail you could put in. So if you do want to continue your Hello Kitty wristwatch agenda, you absolutely can do that. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. It's weird in the sense that, like, I wouldn't wear a pink Hello Kitty wristwatch because I would get weird looks that way, because I'm, like, a straight man and I present myself as a straight man. And if you are a straight man and you walk out with a pink Hello Kitty watch, you will get looks from people, men and women. And you don't want looks the last thing you want as a man is, like, people to look at you weird. So I'm not going to do that. But, if you want to draw art of me in it, you can. You absolutely can. That's fine. Canon ignored Fanon Hello Kitty watch headcanon. Okay. You can do that if you want. Hey, it's the same kind of watch I wear, not like a prototype or anything. They're just silver, plain analog. That's what we need. It's, like, just simple and plain. Like, I don't want, like, a smartwatch with buttons on it and a screen. I have a screen already. I have a screen in my pocket. I don't need another screen on my, like, wrist. I have enough screens in my life. I need less screens. I need less screens. I need actually the same amount of screens. If I were one screen less than I am right now in my life, I'd be fucked up. I'd be fucked up. Don't do that.
Seiko makes some really nice watches.
I imagine they do, and I think, like, it's not a knock against branded things as well. I just feel as though they don't quite, like, I never really grew attached to any accessories or things other than that particular watch, and watches in general. I never got attached to, because I think I think just the brandedness of it made it feel less me and more like I'm wearing this, like, thing. Like, it didn't feel personalized. If it were a gift from somebody, that'd be different. But even then, it's like nothing compares to the one I have. And, like, it almost broke, like, a year ago, and I got really sad. But thankfully, my dad, like, fixed it, so we're good. Your dad was a watchmaker? How fitting for a time fugitive. I'm not the time fugitive here, I think. Or maybe that's lore for later in the stream. But I'm not the time fugitive here. Disregard the silver watch history. Do know that he wears it on his left arm. Unfortunately, you're still getting baby girlified in Fanart. Is that what the Hello Kitty watch does? Is that what that is? Is that what that means? So if you do that in real life, it's, like, weird. Imagine, like, just some guy, some cis-het male, okay, was walking around with, and this person wasn't a dad. They're not like a dad. They don't look like a dad, okay? They're not hanging out with their daughter or their kid, right? They're just, like, he's just some person. Maybe even someone who looks young, fortunately, due to their youthful genetics and everything. And they have, like, a Hello Kitty, like, plastic watch. You would look at that person suspiciously. You would.
Tia, why you expose me?
What did Tia expose? I guess having a hot wife eases the need to perform masculinity. Well, well, I'm not commenting on that. But perhaps that's the case. My husband wears pink shirts and bunny socks. You have to get on his level. I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing that. No, thank you. I need to be as, like, subtle and unseen and undetected as possible. How else will I, like, How else will I exist if not to be unseen for 95% of the time, and then be seen for 5% of it, and then for that 5% of the time, be really, really funny or really, really smart. Isn't that how that works? Isn't that how everything works? Anyways. My smartwatch has the Pip-Boy theme because Fallout is amazing. I mean, you could do that. You could do that too. There's nothing wrong with, like, there's nothing wrong with wearing a smartwatch. I would not, like, throw that. I would not smite you for that. I would smite you if you obsessed over smartwatches and, like, the latest edition of it and, like, talked about the functions of the watch but never actually used those functions. That I would maybe judge you for. But, like, if you just wear one, it's like, whatever. Is that why time lore is your thing? I mean, well, it's not why, but it builds into the why, I guess. I have an adjustable bracelet with a little wildflower on it encased in glow-in-the-dark resin, and my mom gifted it to me when I was 15. I still wear it whenever I leave the house. I mean, I feel that. I feel that. It's real. I feel like cool, expensive accessories out of fashion. Okay? I don't care for that. An accessory that is extremely personal and tells a story? Yes! Give me more of that. I need more of that. I want more of that. Please. Men in uni wear My Little Pony tees. No one blinks an eye. I feel like people should start blinking, okay? Stay beta than Charis. I think you mean loner alpha, actually. If you look at the science, if you look at the data here, it actually, you know, it shows that I'm a loner alpha, and that's just science. Like, that's literally just proven, like, factually. That's just proven factually, okay? It's proven, and it's proven factually. I've worn the same hoodie for the last 3 years and it rules, and sometimes I get complimented for it. I feel that. When you get complimented for one thing, for something you wear, it's all of a sudden, that thing just outshines the rest of your wardrobe. You're like, I need to keep this on. This is the thing people will compliment me for. I need this. And if you do enough, maybe, like, you'll realize, oh, they're actually just complimenting you. And then you find, like, a hard time accepting that, and you go back to, like, the moping. But, like... As me with my, like, sweaters. I have like 2 sweaters that I wear now. That I wear often recently. That I've started wearing more often recently because I've gotten, like, a compliment for each of them. And I'm like, okay, well, this is proven to work. This is proven. This is proven successful. I need to recreate this formula. I need to find every path of success through this specific combination of clothing to maximize the amount of positive to maximize the ratio of positive to negative attention that I get. I'm not saying maximize attention. I don't want a lot of attention. I just want all of the attention to be good, okay? I don't care for, like, the amount of it. I just need all of the attention to be good attention. Actual alpha, though, is clinging this hard to the fact that he's an alpha. No actual alpha is clinging this hard to the fact that he's an alpha. I think most alphas will call themselves alphas, actually. Most alphas would call themselves alphas. Most betas would call themselves alphas. And most omegas would call themselves omegas, like, in a seductive way. Yep, yeah, okay. Those are my final thoughts, and I'm not open to debate. That's it. Those are my final thoughts. Get truth nuked. Get truth nuked.
We gotta fight this guy. As
Get
a true
truth
beta,
nuked,
I
okay?
hold pride in my status.
That makes you not a beta. That makes you way too self-accepting to be a beta. It can't be true. It can't be true. This is astrology for men. About that, I realized your results are probably skewed by the fact that you picked multiple answers for many questions. I didn't, and my top result was miles ahead of the others. But the thing is, I picked multiple answers for multiple questions because those were my answers. And the quiz allowed you to like pick multiple answers for the questions. That's like the whole thing, isn't it? Gem posting. Betas is self-accepting? I don't know. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Betas are like failed alphas, right? Isn't that the whole thing? It's like they want to be alphas, but they're not. Omegas, they love being omegas. Like omegas absolutely love being omegas. I got submissive omega, so there's definitely something up with the quiz. Lemfao. Or there isn't, and you're self-reporting, so, you know. Betas are just normal
just start
people.
Calling him an alphaga.
Don't call me. I don't know why you would call me. Anyways, I'm gonna. What were we do? I don't remember what I was supposed to be doing. Like they just don't fit the alpha omega hierarchy. All right. Well, whatever. All right. Whatever. So if I cared a lot, wouldn't I be an alpha? Isn't that how that would work? I don't know. Anyways, I want to draw some attention, some level of attention to some of the fan art that I've received over the year and a half. Not years yet. It's not been years. It's been. Is it years? Is 1.5 years years? Yeah, it is. Like any number that's not one is plural, right? So it's 1.5 over the 1.5 years. No, if you were actually an alpha, you'd be like, yeah, seems about right, and it would be over with. And then I wouldn't get any content out of that, and therefore not be an alpha. Because you know something about alphas is they are very content driven. Anyways. I took it twice. I got loner alpha first and carrying beta second. I don't know what to do with this info. What you do is you just cherry pick the thing that you think is the funniest and you just keep repeating it. Please don't draw. I'm recovering from Kirby. That wasn't even that bad. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It was a recognizable Kirby. That's way better than what most other people draw, okay? And I'm not talking about people on Twitter who are like, oh, it's a rough draft and it's like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. No, I'm talking about like actual people. I mean, like I'm talking about people who actually have no artistic like experience and never will and don't intend to, and you ask them to draw something for like a mini game or whatever. Or like a challenge, and then that's how they would do. Okay, I'm guarantee I'm at least in the upper echelon of people who don't do this. Surely. Because I don't do this. I don't do this. Anyways, one of the things I wanted to perhaps bring is maybe like this one. This is like a good start. This is a piece by, I think, FCF. Please don't be wrong. Please don't be wrong. I don't remember whose this was. Is this FCF's? It was FCF. Yeah, it was FCF. I'm so right. I'm actually so right. Yeah, it was by FCF. Hello, FCF. This is a piece by FCF. And one of the things like I've noticed that is a trend, and I think like throughout the pieces, not since this, because I think there were pieces before this that were like this as well, but this marked, like, I think to me in my headspace, a very clear like beginning of like, I think people are gonna draw me as a girl and I don't know why. And over time at first I was really weirded out. I think when it first happened, I was like, I don't understand this at all. Weirded out, and not in the sense of like ew or whatever. I was more weirded out. I'm like, how could you see me this way? Because I don't see myself this way at all. Like this, I look in the mirror, not like in the mirror, but like I look in the proverbial mirror.
I thought he was a girl
and
in
I
this
don't
one.
see this. No, he's just wearing a dress. Yeah. So sorry. What I mean is like he's drawing me in like feminine clothing is what I meant to say. I don't know what I said. I don't know what I said exactly, but what I meant was drawing me engaging in things that are like relatively feminine, like, or like not relative, but like very clearly feminine, like positions and outfits and like portrayals and such. And eventually there were like some gender bend arts as well, like that followed. And I think that's precisely one of the things that's interesting about it, right? Clothing's not gendered. Is clothing not gendered? I don't think that's like, I don't know if that's true. Clothing is gendered. I think clothing is gendered. And you're going to say like, well, it shouldn't be. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you there. Like it shouldn't be gendered. People should be allowed to wear what the hell they want to wear. That's it. Right? Not inherently. So here's what I'm saying implicitly behind the statement that I need to also say. Gender's not fucking real, okay? Gender's not real. You all made that shit up, and we've been arguing about this for like decades, centuries. I don't give a fuck, okay? Like, this isn't real. People are not arguing about anything that's okay, there are maybe some interesting things that come out of the gender discourse. Rarely is that ever on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or fucking anywhere where like 95% of you get 95% of your sources, okay? Like, most of your exposure to gender is just bullshit, in the sense that, like, it's made up. Somebody made it up, and now we're talking about this thing that people have collectively made up a while ago and don't realize, like, it's not, like, none of this is real. None of this is real. Like, some of it is real. Like some of it is real in that it exists, but none of it is real in that it's like a concrete fact of the universe, okay? It's like dragons are real, okay? Dragons are real. Dragons exist. Dragons are like a thing in our like unicorns exist, okay? Unicorns exist, and we all can talk intelligently about unicorns, and they can talk about dragons. But like, it's not like a thing. Like, it's a portrayal and imagination of creatures, and there are great stories that have come out of like the mythological inspirations for dragons, for what else? Gnomes and dwarves and various other fantastical creatures, right? There are amazing stories that have come with that. Fantastic work that's come. It's beautiful, right? It's great stuff that it exists, but like, it's not like I'm gonna walk outside and then worry about a dragon attack, okay?
Comparing women to fictional creatures.
I'm not comparing women to fictional creatures. I'm comparing the concept of gender to fictional creatures, okay? And it's like, there's a lot of value in this, but like, also, like, I can go out and wear whatever the hell I want. Now, what do I mean then by the fact that by what I'm saying as when I say that clothing is gendered, okay? Clothing is gendered because when I walk into like Marks and Spencer, okay, fuck, you're all Americans. When I walk into like a clothing store, and like I'm picking out like my outfit, there's a men's section and there's a women's section, and then there's a kids section, and the women's section is 3 times larger than the men's section, and like everything in the women's section is not like, or 90% of the things in the women's section don't really work for me, not because like, 1, from size, but also 2, from the fact that like, if I were to put it on, people would give me like looks. And like, I don't want to get looks. I can't. I need to pay rent, man. I can't get looks. I need to pay rent. I cannot afford to get looks. Anyways, I've been to the UK. I know what M&S is. Why are you screaming? Baby visitor rage room. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I just get really passionate when I talk about feminism. Anyway, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was talking about. All this over address. It's not over address. It's not over like address. It is over like the freedoms, or rather the lack thereof, when it comes to the way we dress that are imposed on us by societal expectations founded upon things that are not like true and prevalent and whatever. Back to the art wood. Admittedly, it's a fantastic piece and it's a great work, and like I don't think I could ever like wear it as well as, you know, as I do here. And this, like, anyways, over time, like, I went from like, this is weird that I'm wearing a dress, like, I think it's really cool that you would draw me in a dress. And that's because I would not wear it. And it's like, that to me is I'm looking at the art wall and there's the other piece there that's staring back at me. That is proof to me that like there are, shall I say, beautiful compositions of myself that are not based from my perspective, and I find that really cool. That's maybe like the end of it. And I hope that's not too like self-tooty or whatever, but I'm guessing at Marks and Spencer's the American analog to the chain store Ross. I don't know, Ross. Is that like, it's meant to be like, it's not bougie. It's not bougie, but it's also not like it's not super cheap. It's like a very middle class sort of like clothing store. Anyways, lower class, maybe middle class. He's mad he can't wear pretty dresses. I'm, for multiple reasons, yeah. I guess, yeah, for multiple reasons. From what I'm hearing is you want to wear those clothes but don't want negative attention. I don't think that's true. Because there's like multiple things going on there. I think the big thing is just like I wouldn't look good in them.
Also a Burlington.
But if I did look good in them, it would suck because then I don't want to get negative attention. But I don't really have to worry about that bit because I don't look good in them at all anyway, so I don't have to worry about it. Fantasy fulfillment vicariously through your art sounds pretty baller. Shame you can't do it yourself. Yeah, actually, that's kind of it. It is a little, maybe it's fantasy fulfillment vicariously, because it's like I don't think I could ever present my, like, due to the way I am and the way my body is, like, I don't really look like that. It's not really the thing I could pull off very well. I don't know, like, it's
Nightgown?
I say this, but like, I think I've gotten way too many comments from people in real life that are like passing joking comments, I think probably. But like the other day, remember when I like was sharing the anecdote of like being the only guy in like in a group hangout, and where like 70% of the time was spent just shopping or at least window shopping and like looking around for stuff. Like I had too many, that was the most recent case of it, but in my life I've had too many comments from women going like, you should try this on, Charis, and it's like a pink dress, and I'm like once is funny, but like I've heard it several times from several people who don't know each other on completely different occasions. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. If women are telling you should wear women's clothing, then this is a sign. What is this a sign of, man? I don't know. You should wear it. I wouldn't look good in it. I would look at myself and go, this doesn't work. I actually don't like this look. Because the thing is, like, I actually really like the way I look now. It's not like, you know, oh, I hate the way I look and I want this new look, but I'm not sure what it would be, and I'm like sort of like, you know, caving under the pressure and not kind of like embracing the dress, so to speak, right? But then I actually really like what I currently wear. I actually really like my outfits. I really like the way I present myself. I don't need to like, I could maybe at some point in a more accepting future, but like, you know, maybe not now, experiment with new things just for fun. But like, you know, for now I'm like good. I'm good. What about wearing androgynous clothing? I have not experimented with that, and I don't feel the need to either, because I think relatively comfortable with my masculinity. But like there's always been like but what if though? What if I'm not? What if I do like a different thing? Are you Uniqlo chic? Maybe I was like 10 years ago. I don't think I am anymore, but I was a little Uniqlo chic. I was a little bit. just do crossplay. It's peak. No, I'm not doing that, I think. You don't look good in them to you, but to others maybe. Yeah, maybe, but I want to look good for myself, you know? Anyways, I wanted to just say basically one of the things that, and it's not just this image. Obviously, this is one of the key ones. This is like another one. It's really big, which is, and it's a bit more. Well, it's a bit more. It's a bit more. But it's also one of the other images where I'm like at first weirded out, but eventually I realized like this is cool. Eventually I thought I like this in a weird way. I like this. I didn't think I would like this initially initially I was discomforted, but over time I've come to enjoy it. And this has given me food
They
for
call
thought.
it peak cause it is.
Like it's made me like think about myself. And that's what like really good art is supposed to do, right? It's supposed to make you think about yourself and like feel about yourself. Well, I mean, that's not all it's supposed to do, and that's not the only thing it's supposed to do, and et cetera, whatever. Like one of my greatest enjoyments in like consuming art is like when a piece of art makes me feel something or makes me think new things, particularly when they are about the world or like the self or anything of that sort. And these bits of fan art that have depicted me in more traditionally feminine manners, whether it be through my outfit or through the posing of it and through I don't know what else because I don't really art, have prompted that. And that is something weird in that I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to be weirdly introspective of like feminized fan art of me, but like I am. I think that's pretty cool. Chairman, get a flannel shirt and see how you feel. I've worn flannel shirts. They're all right. They're all right. I've combined flannel shirts with like sweaters, I think, but whatever. Are you gonna challenge yourself this year and finally put on the cat ears in your model? It would not help at all. It would just. I don't think it would. I don't think you would want to see that. Okay, judging by everyone's like feedback, I'm gonna have to put the image away now and like flip to something else. Okay. I want to briefly mention again one of the earliest bits of art. And I think it was maybe the first piece of fan art I received from KT Cocaine-chan that I really like as well. I've talked about it before on like the first stream where I talked about my fan art, but this is also just again that may be something I want to highlight. One of my personal like favorites in like I just don't know. It's something about it really struck me as like as I was just thinking about fan art. Whenever like I close my eyes and I think about fan art, like this is one of the first few that pops up in my mind. This and like there's another one. Well, there's so I think about all of them. I think about the first one I got. This was from someone I forget their name on Twitter who posted this on Twitter. This is the first ever piece of fan art I got. It's really small. Here by Maurice Opye, I think is their name. I think about like this because it was like the first one leaves the biggest impression, right? It's the first one. I think about that one I just showed. I think about like what else I think about. I think about like one from every like artist, actually. I think of the one from Zero. Hello Zero. Like the first one you did was pretty cool. I'm not showing the fuck, I have to show the Mpreg one, don't I? I think about this one. I think about like I think about this one. Like some of the really early ones, they really stick in my head. Some of the early ones, they really stick in my head. Show the Mpreg. I don't know, I might do it later. These are like and there's a lot. Oh yeah, maybe one more that's a little later that I think of a lot is like this one by Victor. I just adore like the scene here. It's so cool. Like I believe Victor's mentioned that this is like inspired by something else. I don't know what that thing is exactly, but it's so cool. I really like this bit. Mpreg. Okay. You think of my Benny Charis more often? Do I have to? Anyways, this is just like me briefly showing off the fan art, I suppose, right? Is there anything else I wanted to show that I had something to say? Like I've not shown all of it. I've tried to feature all of it. I have not featured all of it yet. I will eventually I will feature all of it in like thumbnails, right? Probably. Eventually I will try to show off all of them. This one was funny. This is a more recent one by Grace, I think. Please don't be wrong. 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 It was by Kira. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is by Kira. This is by Kira. I was wrong. This is Kira's. This is Kira's. This is Kira's. You have permission to kill me now. You can kill me. You are allowed to do that now. You can. You like, here's one free ticket to just hit me in the arm. Like, man, just do it. Like, it's okay. You have that. It's fine. I'm sorry. It's just, the thing is look, Kira, the thing is, you're so, how do I say this? The thing is, Kira, you're just so multiply talented, and you've done so much in so little time, that the first thing that pops in my head when I think of you, Kira, is like the time stamping that you've done and how detailed they've been for like the streams that you've done them on. Like, so much in that is, frankly speaking, like, you know, I've never seen better time stamping anywhere else. Like, anywhere else. On anyone else's stream, I have not seen better time stamping. Like, even in the VTubers like I watch, that are really, really big, they don't have timestamps. Their timestamps on their streams are not nearly as well documented as yours. He's trying to glaze. That's crazy. So, anyways, well, I forgot why I wanted to talk about this one. I remember now. It's because, like, when I saw this floating around Twitter, like, my first thought was like, this is so funny, and somehow I feel like that's me for real. But, you know, I guess, like, and then I just kind of like let that go. I let that thought go.
Your Honor, like, take this MF
like, that's
back old
definitely
Yeller
me.
style.
Nice save, but not good enough. Fuck. Yeah. Anyways, but like whenever I see this, or when I first saw this GIF of this guy from like Jujutsu Kaisen season 3, I still haven't watched it, but like I just know this GIF was around, and I thought that guy's kind of me for real, and I thought nothing of it, and then I saw this fan art like a few days later, and I really liked it. So, there's like a weird, not like wish fulfillment that was built into this almost, but like I guess it kind of is a wish fulfillment, maybe. I don't know. And those are like maybe the bits of fan art I wanted to bring special attention to. I'm gonna briefly click through all of the Valentine's inspired ones. Before I do that, I wanted to show this one. I really like this one too. Surprise, this is my face reveal. This is by Grace. Yep. Yeah, this is by Grace. Thank you. Imagining Kira's hours from Grace's distinctive style. It's completely true. I just, like, I don't know. I need help. Our team, please help me. Our team. Our team's probably asleep. Never mind. God damn it. Anyways, there are a few like Valentine's inspired ones that I'll highlight because it's like, you know, 'tis the season. There are a few sketches I've saved anyways. I know they're sketches, so I'm not sure how much you want me to talk about them. Violent. But these are loosely Valentine's inspired. But also like maybe my trolley ranting inspired as well. Thank you, Violent. This is the Loner Alpha sketch that was quickly done since the Omegaverse stream. Thank you. This is, I believe, a quick project by Grace. Yep, by Grace. Yep. As well, for this season. 'Tis the season. And, I think I've shown most, if not all of it, that's, like, sort of, like, relevant now. Like, there's obviously more, but, you know, it'll be on the wall, and I can talk about them individually, and then spend the next 5 hours of the stream doing that. Or we could move on to the fanfic reading. We could. Right? Omega vibes for real. Oh, one more that I didn't get to show off. That I should next time. This is... Victor's piece of me in a date everything thumbnail that I never got to use because I think by the time like this was done I'd already kind of tired out my date everything streams, and I will not lie to you at all. The only reason I'm thinking of going back to maybe like finishing off date everything, because I feel like I've already gotten everything I wanted to get out of the game. There are two main reasons. Okay, one, because maybe I'll get views that way because maybe it's a hot game. If when like I don't know, I don't think it is anymore. I think I've exhausted my viewership on it. Like I think it's over. But the second more important reason is because then I get to use this thumbnail, because like I didn't get to use this for, and I don't want to retroactively go back on a stream thumbnail and change it to this because it wouldn't feel right. Like it would be better if I made a new stream and used this just straight up, right? So that's the only thing that's really convincing me to go back to date everything for one last stream. It's just this. It's just the opportunity to use this bit of fan art. And finally, this is from Pola, who is a somewhat who is a somewhat new artist. No, not new, but like, you know, like one of the more recent people to have joined the artist tag now on the server. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Yep.
OMG, hello.
Hello, Pola. I want to say that I really liked the inclusion of this part of the, not monologue, what is this? Like the message from the library quiz. And the quick doodle on the right there. Thank you. I really liked it. Don't know what else to say other than that. I don't really like, I can't really comment on it. I like the texture of like the thing you drew it on. I don't think that's a compliment to you in particular. And I don't think it was a that was a compliment. That was more just like a not a preference, but like I something about the material this is on. Is this like a, what is this, a canvas? Like I don't know. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't know the word for it either. But something about that the texture of the thing you drew it on really feels really satisfying. I don't know why. Like looking at it looks really satisfying. It looks like a canvas. Yeah, like that's what it is, right? It just, I really like the texture of a canvas, so you get like bonus points for that, if anything. If there were such a thing as bonus points. I don't know, it's a sketchbook with a cool paper. The paper is very cool. The paper is just very cool. It's just art paper. It's cool. I like it. Visiting my ex, dating everything, date everything stream. She got a restraining order. No, I don't think my... Who is my ex in the game? I don't remember. You should compliment for the choice of paper. I mean, like, I could, but then I feel like that'd be disservice to, like, everything else. If I could just... Oh, if all I complimented was, like, the choice of paper. So, I don't know. Anyways, that is, I think, most of the fan art I really, really wanted to talk about. Of late. As of late. Well... It's not quite like the season or anything. This is more like an April season thing. But I liked this sketch from Kira recently. Kira did this, right? Show the Empreg? Fucking goddamn it, alright. Alright. I can't show this like on my wheel, by the way. I'm not putting this on my wheel. Just so you know. I'm just, you know, you have to know this. I'm not showing this on my wheel. It's not going there. But like, I guess as per the stream title, here's the promised, like, Empreg, I guess. There you go, I showed it. Ew, why did you have to show that one? That was fueled by my rage towards physics? No, Kira, but that rage, I think, was conveyed in, like, the equation scribbles you made on, like, the top, like, left side of that art, and I thought that was a nice touch. That felt like a contemporary thing. Like, I felt that. I felt your rage through that. In context of the fanfic, this is peak. Okay. You'll put the Grinch Santa gender bent version of you on the wheel, but not the Empreg. Okay, I'm not going to put art of me pregnant on the wheel because it's art of me pregnant. I can't believe I have to say this. I can't believe those are sentences that have to come out of my mouth. I'm not putting the Empreg art of me on the wall because it's art of me pregnant on the wall. Like, I can't, like, it would be a violation. Like, this is some sort of, like, I would show it for this stream and I would acknowledge its existence. What's wrong with being pregnant? There's nothing wrong with being pregnant. Pregnancy is beautiful. What's wrong with me, a guy, and a VTuber to some extent, hanging up fan art of me pregnant on my wall is it sends a message and a signal that I think could be very easily misinterpreted, okay? Okay, but you'll put the Grinch on there? Okay. Because that one, in that one, I'm not pregnant. Okay? That's actually it. It's because in that one, I'm not pregnant. If I were pregnant in that one, I wouldn't be showing that. That's why, okay? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Can you imagine if you're...
Can you show the first break one too?
Okay, I can. I don't think I have it saved, do I? Or I have it saved somewhere, but I have to look for it because it's not saved in the usual folder. Alright, I'll show the first one. Yeah, okay. I'm not showing this either, okay? I'm not putting this on my wall, Zero. It's not because, like, I'm not putting your art on the wall. Your art is on the wall. It's just nothing that depicts me pregnant is on the wall, okay? Charis hates pregnancy. Ain't nothing to misinterpret. You're very fertile and breedable. I don't like that I read that. I don't like that I read that out loud. I don't like that I read that out loud. I don't like that I read that out loud. There it is, okay? That's the other bit. Why am I pregnant in all of these? Why am I pregnant in these? I don't understand why I'm pregnant in these. I don't get it. I don't want to understand it. I keep saying I don't get it. You keep trying to explain it to me, and it just does not. Like, I just don't get it. I still just don't understand. I have a very specific mission in mind. Okay, man. All right. I'm putting this away. There's also, like, as I'm aware, looter arts of me. What the hell was that? Sorry, I think that was outside my window. I don't know what that. Anyways, I think there are looter arts of me. The Grinch one was really pushing it. I'm gonna be very honest with you. The Grinch one is really, really pushing it. That's probably the most I'll allow on my wall, I think. But there are some perhaps more intense ones that have been shared, that I have seen, and I choose to acknowledge.
I like the
only
cat
in
one.
passing, but not in specific. I do too. I do like this cat one over there. And so because of that, or not because of that, and so I will acknowledge them here. I know that they exist, and I'm totally okay with them. Like, you can do what you want. You can draw whatever you want of me, so long as it's not me, like, condoning or, like, participating in, like, a hate crime. Like, don't draw me and then, like a swastika. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, don't draw me onto some sort of, like, you know, extremist thing. But, like, you know, if you don't do that, then I don't care what you draw me of. It's totally fine. Just don't, just, you know. We simply see you as a very nurturing, guiding figure, which is a very feminine set of traits in society. Also life-giving, hence the MPreg. That's a really good attempt at an explanation. Alright, but, like, I just don't see the connection between that and the pregnancy. Like, you can be a mother without being pregnant, right? You can, like, adopt. Whatever, anyways. And I think that's it. Now that's everything. Now that is every bit of fan art I really wanted to talk about, share, and appreciate on an individual level. It's not all of them. There are more. Okay, I'll share one more maybe. I'll share one more. One more because it's a GIF. That's not on the wall yet. Because if it's on the wall, it's on the wall. You'll have seen it, right? But this one, I don't know if you see that. Yeah, you see this. It works, right? Yep, it does. Some bits I'm not sure I've put on the wall because they've seemed like drafts or just rough sketches that people want to share, and I'm not sure if those artists want them to be put on the wall because they might see it as, like, just rough work that they didn't really feel like was, you know, something they want to display on a bigger level because they might feel like that misrepresents them or whatever. But, you know, other than that, I feel like I've put everything on my wall. I've put everything else on my wall. This is also by Cocaine-chan KT. Thank you. I don't think this and the parrot gif. There was another parrot gif a while ago. Let me see if I can find it. That are the two gifs of me that I've seen as fan art. I've seen two gifs and a video. The video's by Victor. And the parrot gif was also from Cocaine-chan, I think. Let me see if I can find it. I found it. He's on the wall, regrettably.
Oh yes, cute.
Thank you. Thank you. That should be it. Don't want that parrot arts thing for too long. Don't. That should be it for fan art. I really want to talk about on an individual basis. Again, everything else is beautiful too, and I'm just not showing it because I have to dig through a lot of more files to do this, and I really want to get to the fanfic because I don't want the stream to be too long. It will all be on the wall, and if you really want me to talk about something genuinely, right, I would not find it annoying at all. If you made an art and you really wanted my react, don't say, oh, you don't have to feel pressure to say, I want you to talk about it. You can just finish when you've posted the art, you can like at me 20 times if you really want, and then go like, please, can you react to this on stream? Please, can you react to this on stream? And I won't find you annoying at all. I will do it. I will do it if you really want that. But I understand not all artists want that. Some people just want to like draw the thing, be done with it, and kind of just let it float by. That's okay. I get that too. That's why I'm not like, shining a big torch on everything the moment it's done, because I feel like that. I understand why that might feel like pressure. But for some other people, for some other artists, they really want that recognition and like, the appreciation of it being more explicit and shown, right? So if you do, you can ping me. Would you react to non-VTuber art on stream? I don't think I would. Here's the reason why. Because like I would have nothing important or good to say. Good not in like a positive sense, but good in like a constructive, like I couldn't say anything interesting about it. I can't say anything interesting about any of this art that's of me, but I feel compelled to at least acknowledge it exists very publicly because it's art of me. But like if it's art of something else or someone else, then it's like, and I pull it up and I won't talk, I can't talk about it well because I'm not very like artistically literate. That's not the word. There's a word for that. It's not artistic literacy because literacy is literally like language. Or maybe it is. Maybe it is. Because I lack the vocabulary for artistic discourse. Or not, maybe not even discourse, just like appreciation. Beyond just like, hey, I really like this. I liked the composition. And maybe the colors. Okay. That's all the fan art. I've said that for 10 minutes in usual fashion. We're now going to move on to the fan fiction that I'm going to read and comment on.
You can talk about my bunny Charis art, I guess, Shelterin.
Before I forget, because I've read fic of me. I've read the fic you guys have given me prior to today's stream. I've done that before. I just don't remember like where I've done so. I don't remember where I've read fic of me. Like where as in like which stream I've done that. And I don't want to like repeat. Because then halfway through I'll be like, wait a minute, I've read this before, and he won't be like at first, and then it'll be annoying. But let me come here. You can talk about my bunny Charis art, I guess. We'll talk about that some other time. Maybe. Where is it? I have to find it. Where is it? Give me a second. Oh, I forgot to talk about Tia's art. I've completely forgotten to talk about Tia's art. I'm sorry. It's very cool. I don't know what to say other than the fact that it's very cool. I find Tia's art so very cool. I'll have to fucking show it, right? Okay, hold on. God damn it. I'll just show. Give me a second. I'll pick one of my favorites, and it will be this one. Where is it? It's the loading screen she made for Philosophy. There you go. You did it on your anniversary stream as part of the zine. It was one of mine. Okay, okay. Okay. I also don't remember who's made what fics, and it's hard to keep track, okay? Because we don't really have a fic channel. But I have two pulled up. Anyways,
Victor
yeah.
wrote a FIC.
Before we do that, I want to just say, like, this is, you've probably already seen this because you've probably seen the Velocity debut, or at least if you haven't, you've at least seen the first 10 seconds of it and decided, yeah, this is too long. I'm not watching all this, which is fair enough because it is really long. But you know, this is the loading screen for it, and it's very cool. You'll get to see it again tomorrow because we're playing Mario Party Superstar. Mario Party Superstars. Yes, we're playing that tomorrow. You can watch me beat the other two in a video game and be super humble about my victory. So you can do that if you want. Anyways, that's the philosophy thing. And then, like, you know, you all know Tia Fair, and if you don't know Tia Fair, you'll know her again tomorrow. And in the foreseeable future, you will know her eventually. If you don't know Tia Fair now, you will know Tia Fair eventually. I feel no pressure to like think like I have to give an introduction every time because I just know that eventually you'll know her. You will just. I'm glad I finished eating in time to catch that. Thank you, Tia, again for this art. It's very cool. Like, I know it's not like for me in the sense like it's just for me, like it's obviously a philosophy thing, but nonetheless, it's like I like it. Nonetheless, I like it. Okay, that's all the fan art. That's all the art. That is all the art, the visual art. Now we're on to the textual art. Hopefully, at least it is. I have two pulled up. Tell me if there are more. I've got Everybody Wants a Slice, and I've got Chairman Fic ? Okay. One of these is by Stella. That'd be this one. And the other one is, I don't know who. This is Victor. This is Victor's fic, right? Victor's fic. Everybody Wants a Slice. It should be that one. Tell Tia how talented she is, Charis, how she managed to make you actually look cute. Okay, she did do that, but she wasn't the first person to do that. So, like, it is a remarkable feat, but not one that is, you know, I would say trailblazing new ground. I would say the first person to perform that miracle was Art Team. And everyone followed in the footsteps of Art Team. But Tia is very talented, and I don't have to tell her that because she already knows. And if she doesn't know, then, like, damn, we have to. Then we'll talk about it tomorrow. That's what we'll do. Is we'll talk about it tomorrow if she doesn't know that. We're gonna need the fic now. This is Victor's fic. All I know is I get pregnant in this one. This is the fic part of the stream. All I know is I get pregnant in this one. Okay, that's all I know. You should let people know that their art is neat. Yeah, but I'll do that tomorrow when we're, like, you know. I was gonna say, like, in person, but it's not gonna be in person. It's like over the phone, basically. But I'll let people know over the phone if I have the opportunity to. Or I'll say that and then I'll forget to do it. Which, you know, either way. This is Everybody Wants a Slice by Victor Poe. Okay. Who has written this here. It's 9 pages. We're going to read through this briefly, and I'll comment on it maybe at the end. I'm going to keep reading it throughout, even if I get, like, you know, surprised by some things and feel the need to step in. I'll do that at the end. Chapter 1. Also, I'm going to put Parrot away. Feathers drifted off the side of the desk as Charis set down a stack of books. The gray-haired man sighed, picking up one of the numerous black feathers that he'd been finding left for him. He was used to Parrot's strange antics by now, the two having lived together for what seemed like an eternity, although the crow had seemed even more odd than usual these days, leaving feathers, sticks, and various other items from outside for Charis to find. He was nearing a breaking point. Who knows what critters could have found therein along with those leaves. The only positive was that he'd finally had enough long feathers to complete the shoulders of his cloak. Perhaps that bird was good for some things. Charis' frustrations were interrupted by that familiar sound of flapping wings. Caw! Caw! The midnight-colored bird called as he darted down to settle right on top of the books Charis had brought. The philosopher huffed, crossing his arms as he saw tufts of fur in Parrot's beak. What woodland creature did he terrorize for that? He frowned and looked over the insistent bird, turning to face him with an irritable frown. Enough! I'm done humoring these ridiculous antics of yours. Any more of this mess in the library will end up looking like some bird's nest, Charis exclaimed, gesturing towards his messy desk. In Parrot's defense, the workspace was messy even without the dried twigs. Caw! What do you mean exactly? You expect me to make a nest? He narrowed his eyes, staring down at the crow, like he'd grown two heads. Parrot flapped his wings and cawed in disbelief of the man's obliviousness. His sharp beak pecked down at the clawed feet while trying to choose his words carefully. Parrot knew better than anyone how excitable Charis could get when it came to important news. The bird let out a few slow caws, but got straight to the point with his words. He stuffed his beak into the crook of his wing, presenting a long sleek feather that glistened a purplish black from the overhead lights. His beady eyes looked up at Charis with a sheen of emotion. Alas, the philosopher was already in an upset tizzy. I'm pregnant? Chapter 2. Ratio was having a fine day. Just fine. He had been more than willing to help out the last librarian of Alexandria with cataloguing an extensive amount of old books. Charis had found a somehow overlooked part of the library filled with shelves of unrecorded books. It was as if Alexandria had a mind of its own. Anyhow, that's why Ratio was currently rooming in the ancient building. That's also why he was quickly realizing that a lapse in judgment had been made. He'd tried pushing down some odd feelings, tried to act like everything was fine, but in the back of the genius's mind, he knew it wasn't. What made matters worse was that he loved aventurine. Ratio was not about to be a cheater. He wasn't in the line of heartbreaking, which is the whole reason he had wanted to stay by Charis' place. To make a testament to himself that these were purely physical attractions and nothing deeper, although it seemed the universe had other ideas. Ratio, you need to tell this bird that he's out of his pea-sized brain's mind, Charis yelled while throwing open the door to the doctor's temporary room. Along with the philosopher was an equally loud parrot. Ratio quickly darted up from his chair, concerned there was an actual problem with the library. The both of you best calm down. Ratio furrowed his brows, giving the pair a sharp glance. He tried his best to ignore how Charis looked with messy hair and a flustered face from having run up the stairs, or how the man's pale cheeks were tinted just the slightest shade of pink. His usually tidy attire also rustled. Ratio shook his head, hoping to wash away the thoughts and stay focused. Now, what sort of argument have you two gotten into again? This... Charis couldn't even get the words out. It was just so ridiculous to him. Caw! Parrot supplied, wanting to just clear the air and get back to finding the best rocks to gift the philosopher. Ratio's expression turned even more sour at Parrot's loud shout. He didn't even want to repeat what the bird had said. Didn't even want to think about it. He cursed the unwarranted possessive emotions that dared to churn up internally. Charis is pregnant? Ratio slowly responded as the crow settled down on a pillar of the bedboard. And you know this from avian intuition. Ah, intuition. As if that's a valid reason to spout out such outrageous accusations. Charis growled out, clearly not taking the news well. If it were so ridiculous, then why are you so up in arms about this? Ratio said with a bit more force than needed. It was because his day was being disturbed, not because he felt wronged in some way that Charis might just be closer to others than he initially thought. Well, I mean, just, you never know. Charis crossed his arms, glancing at Parrot and then to the floor. Muttering in a quieter tone, It's not impossible per se. In theory, perhaps, if there's a possibility. Better safe than sorry. And why does Parrot assume it is of the crow variety? Ratio pressed on, stepping closer to Charis. He wasn't a crow at the time, of course. The philosopher hesitated, keeping his standoffish posture. God, it just had to be you of all people who finds this out. Look, it was just once. Parrot got into some weird substance we found in the library. The bottle just popped up one day, and you know how the library is. When I returned after doing some research, he was there in all his humanoid glory. Parrot ruffled his feathers and raised his head proudly. He'd never get tired of hearing the librarian speak in such a shy way, even saying a bit of a compliment towards his feathered friend. Listen, one thing led to another, and that's all I'm saying on the matter. Can you just figure out whether I am or not? Charis finally looked up, surprised to see Ratio had gotten close enough for the tips of their feet to touch. The purple-haired man's head was down, his hair falling into his face, hiding his eyes. Charis wondered why the hair felt heavy. The genius better not be judging him. Fine. Sit on the bed. Ratio stiffly turned and moved towards his desk to open the top drawer. Charis nodded and stepped forwards to sit down. Parrot flew down to settle onto the bed as well, nudging Charis's thigh with his beak with a show of comfort. Ratio pulled a transparent tablet from the desk, pulling a chair up to sit while fidgeting with it. He'd brought the device in case some medical emergency came up during his stay. He hadn't expected to be using the prenatal features of it. Luckily, the whole process was non-invasive, a blessing to both Ratio and Charis. It wasn't long before Ratio's stern expression turned to one of a doctor facing his patient. Have you been feeling off lately? Any change to your usual routine? Anything at all? Ratio pressed his fingers to the tablet as he kept it hovering over Charis's lower stomach. I guess, maybe. I've been having a pretty upset stomach in the morning, even getting sick sometimes, and I've been hungrier than usual, some weird cravings here and there. Caw! Caw! I've not been more emotional. Shut your beak. Charis yelled back at the sudden interruption from Parrot. Ratio sighed, shaking his head and setting the medical device down. He looked up at Charis, staring into his worried eyes for a moment. He hated how his heart softened at that expression. He wanted to reach out and take the philosopher's hand in his. His previous anger dissipated as he began to speak. Charis, you're a few weeks into the first trimester. Other than that, everything else seems perfectly healthy. I'll get some more information printed out for you, although I assume the library has many books that could help with anything else you need to know. Ratio carefully reached out and placed a reassuring hand on Charis's shoulder, and as a friend, I'll be here to help and talk with. I'm sure the other Parrot, will help as well. Oh well. Charis trailed off and turned his head to look down at Parrot. Both the bird and Ratio looked at the man curiously. I might have to make some calls. Parrot isn't the only option. What? What am I reading? What am I reading? Okay, alright, okay, man, alright, okay. Fuck. God damn it. Chapter 3. Charis paced in the foyer of the library. Phone in his hand felt as heavy as a brick. He knew the right thing was to call her, was it? They weren't even in a relationship or of any sort. They weren't friends and definitely not partners. Enemies was the closest description, but that just felt tacky. Screw it, he was the Charis Euphranor, philosopher extraordinaire, greatest mind to ever come from Alexandria. He could make one measly phone call. Charis furiously scrolled through his phone and slammed his thumb onto the call button. Calling Hegel Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull this up for you. I'm just gonna pull this up for you so you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, you see this, right? Okay, all right. I'm just pulling this up for you. Okay. Charis tapped his foot while listening to the ringing of the phone. This bastard, he always waited until the last ring to answer. It was like he lived to be an annoyance. Hegel speaking. What is the reason for calling? A slightly awkward voice sounded through the speaker with a thick German accent. Okay, I'm not doing the German accent. He made it sound like this was the first time they'd ever spoken, like some stuffy first meeting. Hello to you two. What? No convoluted and hard to understand monologue to start out with? Charis bit back, already annoyed after hearing the man's voice. No, I'm afraid any meaning behind my words would be lost with your current understanding of my work. Hegel was more than happy to retort with an equally argumentative tone. I'm just surprised you have enough time to talk, considering how you're usually preoccupied sucking up to the father of existentialism. Oh, please. Every conversation you talk about me being obsessed, we can't go a single conversation without you mentioning Kierkegaard. Maybe if you weren't so obsessed with such a systemic way of thinking, you'd actually take some of his critiques to heart. That is, if you had a heart, and considering you definitely have no soul, I highly doubt that. It's always the same argument, isn't it already clear? How much smarter. Charis promptly cut off the German philosopher with a frustrated laugh. If you had any smarts, you wouldn't have had to announce it every chance you got. You know what? This whole conversation is stupid. I was right. Shouldn't have even called. There's no way, shape, or form that someone as infuriating as you could ever be the father of my child. I've already forgotten every moment we shared together. He finished with a huff, pushing back stray strands of hair and shaking his head. Your child. Ah. Thankfully, Hegel was quick on the uptake, ensuring Charis had no need to elaborate. Well, it's only natural. Nothing great in the world has ever been accomplished without passion, and we were very passionate, even if that passion is spurred by hate. I'm on my way then. No matter how soulless I may seem, I won't miss the birth of my child. But before Charis could finish, the phone call had already disconnected. He groaned, wanting to throw his phone against the wall. That idiot better not be the father of his child. Even Parrot would be a better choice. As much as Charis had wished Hegel were lying, the older man did show up on his doorstep. After some fumbling around with introductions between the Hegelian and Ratio, everyone finally started to settle in. The reality of the situation also started to imprint onto Charis. After a few weeks, he was already feeling more symptoms. And as much as he'd hate to admit it, it was kind of nice being fussed over. Parrot fussed over his comfort, continuing to bring gifts, while also sticking even closer to the librarian's side. The crow could always be seen on his shoulder, preening his hair, and nuzzling him with his beak. Ratio was always checking up on him from a medical standpoint. The doctor was honestly one of the few things keeping Charis sane, being one of the only level-headed men around. Although he did feel like Ratio was a bit more touchy than usual, touching his shoulder or faintly passing a hand over his knee. The man was probably just trying to be a good friend. Even Hegel was less argumentative than usual, just a bit. They still got into some altercations. The last time it happened, Charis couldn't stop a few tears welling up in his eyes. Both of them had stopped yelling and stood awkwardly. Neither would ever mention how Hegel had patted the other man's back and led him to a comfy chair. All in all, things were peaceful between Charis and the others. It was a whole other matter between the three taking of him. The tension became even more obvious during the dreaded birthday shower. Yes, a baby shower courtesy of the streamer's lovely chat. The entity which was Chad did not take long to figure out that Charis was expecting, especially since they had been waiting for the moment anyways. Chad had brought out their A game for the celebration. They were more than happy for an excuse to embarrass Charis, while also treating him. And for the utmost drama, Parrot, Ratio, and Hegel were all sat next to each other with Charis at the head of the table. Caw! Parrot slid a plate of chocolate cake over to Charis. The simple action earned a huff from Hegel. You simple-minded bird. A plain white cake is the far superior choice, the bearded man said while sliding a plate of plain cake decorated with yellow frosting over to chairs. A spark of competitiveness surged from Parrot to Hegel. They had been arguing over the entire baby shower. Chad, of course, ate it up as they watched the free entertainment. Hegel was nearly ready to throttle the bird, and Parrot looked like he was going to peck out the old man's eyes. They both reached over Ratio, knocking into him. You imbeciles, neither of these options are good. I already wrote out every dietary need of Charis, and cake is definitely not on there. Ratio exclaimed while pushing both figures away from him. Charis could feel his eyebrow twitch, closing his eyes and trying to drown out the noise. He found himself moving a hand over the small bump that had already formed over his midriff. Annoying. It was all annoying. His clothes aren't fitting him well anymore. He couldn't button his pants today. His back ached and his feet hurt. He had the weirdest cravings, and he cried today because his DoorDash order had been wrong, and now he had two men and a crow yelling right in his ear. Enough! Charis yelled out while slamming his hands down on the table. Dishes clattered and even chat silenced for once. You are all idiots for arguing over the stupidest things. I'm starting to think that's all you three know how to do. All this yelling. Seriously, is this what I'm going to have to raise a child around? If anyone should be yelling, it's me! You aren't the ones carrying a whole baby inside you. His voice slightly broke, feeling his face grow hot with unshed tears. Charis let out a frustrated grunt, picking up both plates of cake before turning and running off deeper into the library. The three accused had quieted down, feeling like children after getting admonished. Chat looked at them pointedly, waiting for them to go after the father-to-be. Oh. Father was the first to... Parrot was the first to make a sound while opening his wings, flying upwards, hovering over the two men, who sighed and got up to follow. Charis had left for his bedroom, sniffling over his desk while slowly eating his sweet cake. He heard the door creak open, but made no move to turn, already knowing who was stepping into his space. "You're all stupid," Charis mumbled. "Stupid bird, stupid genius, stupid philosopher." "That's an oxymoron." Ratio was the first to respond, but stepping forward with crossed arms. Charis could feel him now standing at his side. But point taken. "I suppose we should find a way to coexist considering the current predicament. Perhaps there is even some insight to be taken from my current peers." Hegel stroked his beard, choosing his words carefully. "There might not be much to learn from the bird, though." "Caw!" Parrot pecked at Hegel's head before flying over to his usual place on Charis's shoulder. The crow stretched out a wing and rested it over the teary man's shoulder. His soft feathered head moved to butt against Charis while letting out an apologetic noise. Charis sighed, shaking his head. It wasn't a conventional support system, but it still brought him comfort to know he wasn't alone for now. No matter who the father of this child was, at least he knew him and the baby wouldn't be alone. Pregnancy really is hard. Yeah, I know it is, yeah. So I don't understand why you guys keep like making me pregnant. Anyways, chapter 4. Charis let out a heavy sigh. Getting out of his streaming chair had gotten harder during the last trimester, his stomach jutting out now and making life all more difficult to maneuver. He put a hand to the small of his back, feeling his muscles strain at the extra weight. Despite his initial thoughts, Charis had actually been handling things well. He did still get a bit freaked out when the baby kicked, but he was already looking forward to the day he'd finally meet them. Ratio had informed him that it was a girl, and he had to admit he was happy about it. Imagining a little girl running around the library was exciting. There'd finally be some youthfulness in the usual dusty and old halls, someone new to teach and guide. Most of his previous anxiety was gone, replaced by a newfound hope for the future. At least that's what he thought until he felt a wetness drip onto the floor. No, this couldn't be happening already. Any preparations he had completely left his mind after looking down and seeing all the liquid. Parrot, get in here right now," Charis yelled out, his breaths coming out in an uneven and heavy pace. The last thing he wanted to do was freak out, but that seemed like a very viable option right now. Parrot flew in as fast as he could. Charis had never been happier to see the flash of black feathers. "Parrot, get Ratio. Tell him my water broke." "Caw!" The crow screeched, flapping his wings quickly and shaking his head. "I know, I'll stay here. Just go get him," Charis yelled back, having no time to elaborate any further. He hobbled over to the bed, biting his lip as another pain coursed through him while climbing onto the mattress. Every contraction just made his anxiety grow. He felt it took forever for the others to get there. All at once, everyone came bustling in, all of them in the middle of talking over one another. Crow and Hegel were pushing Ratio into the room. The genius looked unsure and frustrated. "Just because I have a doctorate doesn't mean I'm qualified for childbirth," Ratio yelled while Parrot cawed in his face. "Stop complaining. If anyone should be complaining, it's me. Imagine the philosophical dilemma I've had over the thought of bringing a child into this world. I mean, think of the current climate we're in." Hegel continued to ramble on about whether they should even be doing this in the first place. Charis took a deep breath as he tried not to focus on the feeling of being forced to push. He opened his eyes and looked towards the noise. His face twisted in pain as sweat dripped down his face. "One of you better get over here and get this baby out of me right now, or so help me God, I will make you all wish you were never born," Charis said, having enough of their loitering around. "Now!" The three quickly nodded and flurried over the man in labor. Ratio positioned himself at the foot of the bed, accepting his role as the midwife. Charis had reached for Hegel's hand, more than happy to squeeze all his pain and anger into it. Parrot had grabbed a washcloth to dab over the philosopher's brow, cooing words of comfort to him. Charis yelled out as he felt his entire body work to get the baby out. It felt like he was pushing for hours, Ratio calling out words of encouragement. Charis was starting to lose strength, his grip on Hegel's hand losing as he shook his head. He was near ready to give up when finally there was the most breathtaking noise, the cries of a new life being added to the world. Parrot and Hegel eagerly looked down near Ratio, nervous to see which was the father. Charis opened his bleary eyes, smiling slightly while out of breath. All the important men in Charis's life and Plato for some reason were in the room. Wait, Plato? Everyone quickly turned to the crying baby in Ratio's arms. A squirming little girl was there. Her head had a Grecian bust on it. The group was stunned in silence, turning their attention back to Charis. Plato politely sidestepped them and made his way next to the bed, smiling while reaching a hand out to push back hair that had gotten stuck to Charis's sweaty face as he spoke. "Love is the pursuit of the whole, and I'm finally complete." Damn, that's crazy. What the hell? Also, we spelled your name wrong on purpose, Charis? Okay, I figured. This is the part I insisted upon. Zero, you insisted upon, like, Plato just showing up at the end. For what reason? He dropped a fire quote. I'll tell you that. He dropped a fire quote. Oh. Symposium reference? I must say that was an extraordinary experience. See, it's one thing to know that I'd been, like, drawn pregnant. But that's kind of like me having, like, a really big belly, right? Which I've seen. You know, I was fat once in my life. I was fat, like, at some points. Like, I fluctuated a bit, you know, my personal weight. So I know what it's like to be, you know, a little bigger. And I've seen the art of me pregnant. That's happened just now. But it's like another to read a whole bit of a whole fic of, like, not just the, it's interesting because it's not like they reference the Night of Passion, right? But they don't really talk about Victor, he doesn't really talk about, like, the inciting incident. He instead kind of, like, chooses to talk about the incident, or, like, the events since that incident, like, or since the realization of it, all the way to the birth, and, like, detailing the different parts of the trimester and the pregnancy with like a lot of detail. So at first it seemed like a gimmick. At first it seemed a little bit gimmicky and like a whole, okay, yeah, there's fic of me and pregnant. Okay, man. but like, you know, to put the actual work and effort in to make it, and to also take it seriously in some sense, to also be able to engage with the levity of, you know, the humorous, ridiculous, over the top drama that comes from it, is one thing. But it nonetheless, of course, only serves to highlight the effort that's been put in the first place. To be able to tell this joke at all requires some understanding of me as a person. Now, I'm not saying this is a perfect understanding of me, because I don't think this is how I would react to being pregnant, and I don't think these are the men who would be around me. And I think maybe probably the biggest thing is, if I were pregnant, I wouldn't want that many men around me. I'd probably want more women around me. Like, if I got pregnant, I would need women around me, because they know what the fuck is up, all right? The men, they don't know anything, all right? They need to shut the fuck up. They need to shut up when I'm pregnant, okay? All the men need to quiet down if I'm pregnant. If I were to ever be pregnant, I need to hear the women speak. That's probably the only, like, I would say, like, big. That's not the only thing. That's the biggest divergence I would say I could that I would imagine. But other than that, it's like there was clearly, like, a level of thought put into this I didn't think possible. Depicting my pregnancy in its different stages, and the mood swings, and the conflicts, and the argumentations, and the resolutions, and the sweet coming togethers, and the characters of my life, I suppose, showing up too. We took some liberties for the plot to happen, duh. I've never seen such a good ending, though. Like, I'm actually serious, this is the best outcome, says Estella. That's true. Like, it's all really nice. And maybe that's the other thing that strikes me as a bit odd, but maybe not so much. Because, like, I don't... Sorry, I read another comment and I got distracted. What was the thing I was trying to say? Oh yeah, this is really nice and positive, and I didn't expect that at all, because I'm such, like, a... There's, like, a lot of angst in Charis Euphranor. There's a lot of, like, angst and, like guilt and almost, like, an emo edginess to it that is just completely absent from this. Other than, no, it's not completely absent. That is only present in the characterization of me, but it puts me in a scenario, in this really nice, wholesome scenario, which is strange, because, like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Like, it is sound. This is sound. It's just, I don't, because I am Charis Euphranor, and I put myself in the situations that exist, and, like, they are angsty situations. Like, they are tragic, they are painful, and that's kind of like the part of the emotional weight of the things I try to like, the emotions I try to evoke is like the emotion of suffering, you know, like a certain sense of suffering. And there's like no suffering here. This is all actually really nice. So at first, as I was reading, I was like, this is way too nice. This should go in worse ways. Someone should die here. Like, this is, if this were a Charis Euphranor fic, someone should die. But actually, the more I think about it, I'm like, the more it makes sense. This is perfectly wholesome and nice because the canon, the Charis Euphranor canon, has enough angst and like tragedy that there's no need for that in the fanfic. The whole point of the fanfic is it's supposed to like fulfill this thing that the canon would never fulfill, right? Like the Charis would never get pregnant in the Charis Euphranor canon. Like this just would not ever happen. So this has to happen only in a fanfic. And well, if this happens there, then we should then part of the goal of the fanfic is to fulfill the thing that maybe the emotional catharsis that one would not get from the original canon source material itself. Namely, some sort of just positive, nice outcome where people are supportive and a successful pregnancy is delivered and a child is born, and that's just it. It's just really nice. And also, like, me fucking the bird, I guess, is a part of that, which is weird because, like, you don't know this, so I'll tell you now, okay? Like, I need to tell you this now, so in the future, you don't write this, or maybe when you do write this, you think about it, and it's not Victor's fault because Victor didn't know, because you guys didn't know. And I'm afraid I have to drop this lore on you early, because if I don't, I'm gonna keep seeing this, and it's gonna be really awkward. Okay, Parrot is like a stand-in. I won't explain how or why yet, but Parrot is a stand-in for Chat. You are Parrot, in some sense of the word, not like in its totality. But Parrot is meant to be like a symbol for you. So this is like Reader X. this is like Charis X Reader, which is, or like Chatter, maybe not Reader, like Chatter. So in the future, that's like, you know, please just know that like please no shit Sherlock. Okay, well then is that the intention? Because I didn't know that was I didn't get that intention. I didn't feel that in this. It felt like in this fic, Parrot was the attempt. There was an attempt to characterize Parrot as his own thing, and Chat was another separate entity here for some reason. Whereas, like, you know, in the canon, it's like he's symbolic. Like he's supposed to represent. That's why he reads your messages. Like that's why he reads your messages, and that's why that's all he does. All he does is just repeat the things that you say, because he's you to some extent. But then whenever he doesn't say anything that you guys say, he says it's me, it's what I say. And so he's an imitation of me as well. And so comes this creature who is a perfect imitation of two parties, and you would think, oh well, this is a silly stupid creature who only imitates things that it's heard from other people. And you're supposed to kind of come to the reflection that you are like that everything you say, like Parrot just imitated everything you said, and you would go, haha, stupid bird, too. This was the hope. I don't think that carried. But then, like, you would then realize eventually at some point in your philosophical journey, perhaps, that you are just imitating what other people say. That's you. That's speech. Like, you, all of your life, have just been pretending to be somebody else, in the sense that, like, that's how you learn things. That's how you develop. That's how you got your own voice, was by copying other people's voices. So it's like, that's what makes it so that Parrot is you, but also not you, but also you. And he's also me and also not me. So what did it mean when Parrot flew away? Your inner insecurity of us abandoning you. I'm not commenting on that yet. I'm declining to comment. I'm declining on the comment on that. I'm just gonna let you interpret that as you will. And I like, the thing is, like, I wanted that to be, thank you Ari for jumping to that reflection very quickly. I wanted that to be like a not posthumous, that's not the word, a post like lore, like reveal retrospect, where it's like knowing that now gives you a new perspective on shit I've done before was what I wanted to do. But like, and so I was gonna drop this lore on your head like later, but I haven't had the opportunity to do that, and I feel like I need to do that now, before you write more fics of like of me having intimate relations with the bird. Like, I just want you to know. I just want you to know this. I just want you to know this. You heard him, more perfect. That's not what I said. That's not at all what I said. That is a gross mischaracterization of the words I've just used. The fic is a whole marriage. I read a whole marriage now. I'm sorry. I'm like, I just a whole meaning now. It does. Like, there's meaning in work generally. There's not a lot of meaning in most work, but there is some meaning there. And this work in particular has a pretty good amount of meaning in there. I would say there's like 5 out of 7 meaning here. This lore being dropped because of a pregnancy fic. There's more. I'll probably drop more lore for the next fic because there's like explicit questions asked. And honestly, I'm gonna honor this now. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna honor this for every bit of fanfic in the future. Like, if there is any way, if the way I can sort of express my appreciation for the fan art that's drawn on me is by hanging it on my wall, the way I would maybe the way I will express appreciation for my for fan fiction that's written of me is that you can ask me, and maybe you can put it at the end of the fic, or you can just ask separately. I don't mind either. You can ask me any question about like the lore of Alexandria, and I'll try my best to answer. Or you could be a little daring and ask me a personal question about me, and I might not answer back, but I would consider heavily doing so because, like, you know, I have to show my appreciation somehow. I don't know how, but like, you know, it's all transactional, I guess. I don't know. I always wondered why Parrot came back. Charis was supposed to explain, but he never did as usual with his promises. Yeah, I started work on that. I have the script. I recorded everything, and I just didn't have the time to put it together. I'm sorry. The worst bit of the creative process for me, the ultimate bottleneck for me, is the video editing. It is. That's the ultimate creative bottleneck for me, is the video editing. That's why like, that's why shit doesn't get made. It's just because, like, I don't edit. Like, I can, but I hate doing it, and more importantly, I have no time for it. Not because, like, you know, oh, I think it's beneath me, I have no time for this, but like, as in, like, I take a long time to edit because I'm way too much of a perfectionist, and I'm not even that good yet. Like, I shouldn't be this much of a perfectionist for how shit I am at video editing, but like, I am, and it annoys me, and I take a long time to edit something that shouldn't take anyone who's more skilled than I am like this much. Like, it shouldn't take that much time, but whatever. I thought you liked the sound of your own voice. Why don't you like editing? I would like listen to myself and watch my own videos. I wouldn't edit my own videos because it's like, editing my own videos requires me to cut. You know what? Actually, that answers itself, Barrels, because in order to edit myself, I'd have to cut out parts of me, and I wouldn't like that because I think every part of me is like amazing and perfect and brilliant. So I couldn't do that. I wouldn't have the heart. But you never finished the parrot coming back explanation though? Like, what's the reason he came back? Where's the lore? It'll show up eventually, I guess. It's not that good. It was very quick, but like, and it was supposed to be positioned at the end of the AI arc. Which gives me an idea. Okay, yep. I know when to do it. I know when to do it now. I'll tell you now, because you could probably gather from the context clues of what I just said. But I'll probably, you know what? I'll probably do it. I'll probably release the lore, the mini lore of that, as a part of an announcement for like the next AI arc we do, because we're gonna revisit AI eventually. I don't know when exactly, but we'll revisit it eventually. It deserves like a round 2. It definitely deserves a round 2. There's so much you can do with it. Lore documentaries then? I'm thinking about them. Anyways, that was Victor's fic. Everybody wants a slice. Okay, I should comment on the other aspects of it first. Before I move on. There are things to talk about. Ratio being there, I think makes sense, and I think the position he occupies in the dynamic of the story makes sense too. Him being like faithful, but like just a little tempted by Charis seems like an interesting choice that I think could happen. I think realistically, or not realistically, I think like, because these are fictional characters, but like I think in my mind, Ratio would not think very highly of Charis because he just wouldn't know him. Because I think part of something that's really important to the character of Charis Euphranor is that he's not very well known. Is that he is maybe not well known, but like I don't know. Actually, no, that's not true. Part of what's important to Charis is like he's usually either grossly underestimated or grossly overestimated. And I think Ratio would be the type of person to underestimate him initially. This is like not the Charis Euphranor of the future. This is the current canon of Charis. Like, this is where he's at. Anyways, I feel weird talking about myself in the third person, so I'll just move on from this. The ending quote is fire, with not this one. The ending quote is fire with Plato showing up, but I don't know why he shows up. Whatever. I understand why if he were to show up like towards the end of the story as the midwife, that would make sense. Or maybe not Plato, but like Socrates, because you know, Socrates and his intellectual midwifery. Right? You could reference that. It is referenced by Dr. Ratio, the fictional character, in the video game Honkai Star Rail. It is Socratic midwifery is referenced there, so that is something you could have drawn on, and I think that was intentional. That like you know you highlighted that here towards the end. Hegel being the father feels very like classic enemies to lovers, but I think it's not like the dynamic between me and Hegel is not like we're enemies on the same playing field. He is like an established, well-known, highly respected philosopher. Charis Euphranor is not. Charis Euphranor is a tiny speck of dust in his world, in Hegel's world, and like it wouldn't like this wouldn't happen basically because it's not like they're rivals. It's just like because I don't put up the same like power level, okay? Like I don't have the same power level. If you put the scouter on and you like scan me and you scan the other guy, I don't put up the same power level, okay? Enemies to lovers and boss ex-secretary dynamic. It's not boss secretary, okay? I don't know the guy and he won't ever know me. We wanted everyone to be in love with you, but one of us is a Dr. Ratio and adventuring shipper. Well, that makes two of us because that's me too. Like, that's me too. Okay, like, I'm also like, I'm also a Ratioian adventurer, and like, I don't shipper, and I don't like that. I don't like breaking from that ship. That ship is perfect. Okay, I don't want to insert myself. I don't want to insert myself in between Dr. Ratio and adventure. I don't want to do that. I do want to insert myself between Kafka and Himeko, but that's a different story because it's not never mind. I'm not like elaborating on that. Anyways, by the way, that was the first fanfic I've seen and y'all cooked. That was very interesting and had my attention in a chokehold. Very, very, very high praise, Drunken Master. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. What else should I talk about? I don't know. I feel like the library itself was portrayed in an interesting way. There are young children in the library on occasion, but they don't frequent. So it's interesting, you know. So it's kind of okay. It's kind of correct. So Hegel sees that moment of conception with Charis Euphranor as nothing more than a fling. No, I would not be like, no, there wouldn't be a moment. I wouldn't be within like 2 kilometers of that guy, like ever. Not just because I don't really like him, but because like he doesn't know I exist and he will never know that I exist. Ventrine deserves better than Ratio, not gonna lie. Okay, that's like not true, but I'm not gonna get up in arms about it. I'm not going to. I don't want to derail it too much. We made sure to add references to Hegel and Plato's most popular quotes and ideals. And that's, I really like that. That's so, like, that's nice. I like that you did that. Where's the bit with the, you reference a lot my grievances with, Hegel's, like, system building ideals. You briefly mentioned Kierkegaard, which is interesting. I'm surprised he didn't show up. I'm actually surprised you didn't, like, put Kierkegaard in the fic. He was merely mentioned. I thought he would show up. And I thought that'd be interesting, but whatever. Like I'm not gonna lie. If I were to guess who the father was at the beginning of the fic, I thought you would make it Kierkegaard, but maybe that would have not been as spicy and interesting, right? But I thought he would at least show up. So the fact that he doesn't show up at all, I thought was an interesting choice. Charis wanted him as the father. No, I don't want anyone to father a child. I don't want anyone to father my child, okay? I want to father my child, okay? I want someone to, like, mother my child, because I'm, like, a straight man. Okay. What else is there? I say that, I'm, like, reading fan fiction of myself being pregnant. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't know what's going on. Anything else I want to mention specifically? No, not really. Not at all. Oh, I do want to mention that Parrot communicates in cause. Which I find interesting because the rest of the fic as well is not written quite. It's written from Charis's perspective, but not in like the first person. It's like my perspective, but it's like a third person view of my perspective, I think is what you call it, right? It's very much like he narrowed his eyes rather than like I narrowed my eyes, right? And that's interesting that you thought to do that and also have Parrot speak in cause, because Parrot does not speak in cause on stream, does he? He reads and says words. So I don't know if you figured that out yet, or if that was a happy coincidence, but this is surprisingly accurate to things that I have not spoken of. Is it ka or ka? I don't know what it is. It's annoying is what it is. Okay, those are the thoughts on like the first fic. Thank you again, Victor. I appreciate the effort that's been put in. I appreciate the thought that's been put into it. And if you have any questions, you can ask me. I mean, not that, you know, you needed my permission or whatever, but like if you really wanted to ask a question that you think under normal circumstances I wouldn't answer, you should try your luck again and ask me if you feel so inclined. Or not, who cares? It is physically impossible not to click with the title like that. I'm sorry, Gob. I'm so sorry you have to be here for this. I don't want to be here for this either. People keep drawing me and writing me pregnant. I don't understand why they do this. I still don't, I think. Oh, I thought it'd be funny for the reader to interpret what he says. I think, well, then then maybe you accidentally stumbled upon the correct answer, because in the third person, this is what Parrot would sound like. That's all I have to say about this one. I don't think I want to. Oh, okay. Oof. If I asked what I wanted answered, you might ban me. I would not ban anyone for asking a question. I will ban you for like hate speech. And beyond that, the worst I will do is I will ignore you and I will smite you. And I will throw you into a dungeon. But I probably wouldn't ban you. I would throw you into a dungeon though. I would do that. Alright, says, by the way, I feel like this is the most views you've had consistently through a solo stream in a while. I don't like that. I don't like that you are all disinterested in me reading pregnant fanfic of myself. I don't like that you're all disinterested. Why are you all so interested? You should be pregnant more often. I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. I'm being written pregnant for some reason. I don't get it. Whatever. How do you think you deal with the birthing process, Charis Euphranor? Okay, I think the birthing process, if I had to deal with it, would probably be a little bit like Victor's fic. I think I would get annoyed and I would get frustrated and I would feel nervous and I'd panic and I would have second thoughts a lot, but I would ultimately ultimately I would deliver the child and I would dedicate like myself to the child, probably. Like I'd feel very strongly about it. Like I would be very scornful in like almost an ironic way, but I'd also be very protective of like the child. I think if I were to have a child, I would care less for the other parent. It's like if I, you know, if the other parent, if I had some amount of affection for the other parent, it would drop a little bit and all of it multiplied by 10 would be given to the child. Probably. Like I wouldn't hate the other person, but I would care for them a little less, just like a little less, because you only have a limited amount of like care that you can put out into this world, and I would have to reallocate a lot of that into the new child. Schnitzel was my favorite character in Chowder growing up, and he only says rada rada. Rada rada. So okay, I guess I could see that inspiration. Grace will do you the honors of drawing the third Charis Euphranor. Don't do that. Don't. Or do. I can't stop you, but like that's not what I would ask for. Have you even tried? I don't like what that question's implying, and I'm not going to answer it. Give us tips on an easy pregnancy. I don't know. I've never been pregnant. How would I give you tips? Man. You're stifling the creativity of your audience. Shut up, man. I find it interesting that you think you'd have to reallocate caring about your partner to your child. No. It's not like I would have to reallocate caring in the sense of like, like I feel like I have to do that or else I'm immoral or something. But I feel like I would be compelled to do so, given the birth of my child. Like I would be so obsessed with my child, probably, that inevitably what would happen is a lot of my care for everyone else in the world would like just, it wouldn't go away, but it would like diminish just a little bit, and all of that time and energy, all of that would sink into the child, I think. Probably. Would you have a home birth and would you take an epidural? I would take an epidural. I would not have a home birth. I would not have a home birth. I want to be surrounded by professionals and equipment and family members. And like, you know, everyone and servants at my beck and call, okay? That's what I want to be surrounded by when I'm giving birth. If I'm giving birth. What am I saying, man? What the hell? Okay, let's move on. Let's just get this over with. Sorry. I can't. What am I saying? Month of AI arc or dystopian arc. Now we want 9 months of Charis pregnancy arc. I don't want a 9-month arc. I don't want a 9-month pregnancy arc. That would be the worst arc. Would you let your daughter date a VTuber or a philosophy major? My daughter can date whoever she wants, provided she's an agent with free will and is able to comprehend the decisions she's making and not like, you know, a mere child. So as a child, I would probably be a little strict with like, okay, I don't know if you should be hanging out with these people. As like you know, as she grows older into like an adult, I'd be like, I'd be less of an authority and more of like an advisor. And I think in her adult years, I'd probably be an advisor. I'd be like, I don't think this is a good idea, or maybe I think this is a good idea. And ultimately, I'd be like, okay, the decision's ultimately yours, but I just want you to consider that, you know, these things. And here's what I'm thinking about, and I want you to consider the fact that I love you and I want everything that's best for you. So please don't break my heart and date somebody who's gonna, like, you know, fuck off and be like an absentee parent. Like, please don't do that. Please, God, don't do that. Think about it. You could go through the steps of being pregnant, like looking into nutrition, playing some games about raising a child again, and no, I'm not doing that. I've already done that last year. I'm not doing it. I have to come back to Volcano Princess. Sure, yeah. At that point, I'm hoping your daughter's a lesbian so she doesn't have to date either. Honestly, if I had a daughter and I could choose, like if it were like an option setting in like Sims or whatever, like if there was an option, like if I could pick between things that like I could like determine in life, would I want my daughter to be a lesbian? Maybe not like right now in this era, like in this current political climate, right? But maybe depending on how the socio-political climate is in the future, maybe I would want my daughter to be a lesbian. I don't know. Like if I could choose it, like if it were like some weird fucked up like Sims character creator, like I could do, then maybe. Like that's not how it works in like real life, right? You don't get to do that. But if you did get to do that, I think I would do that. Would you be upset if she dated a... Sorry, I already read that. The philosophy major wouldn't take advantage of her unless they study ethics. True. So if she dates a philosopher, just, you know, anyone's fine as so long as they're not an ethicist. Play a birthing simulator. I'm not playing a birthing simulator. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Is there one? What even is that? Lucy maternal and neonatal birthing simulator. This is 6,000 quid? What? Holy shit. Okay, no, this is like these are like medical, these are like medical supplies. No. Birthing simulator game. For men. For men is the next suggestion. Okay. What the hell? Run game? What is this? What the fuck? You're pregnant and now it's time to deliver your baby. Hold space or the mouse button to hit the target on the push meter. Watch yourself as the progress. You'll either have your baby or you won't. This gameplay is inspired by the fishing in Stardew Valley. So if you've played that before, you know how this works. What the fuck? What is that? I died. I think I lost my child. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's safe. I don't know if this is something I can show. I don't know if I can show this. What the hell? What the fuck? Okay, I'm a mother in this one. too. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Am I in the shower? What the hell? I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I don't know why I did that. I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm going back. I'm going back. Do the cramp simulator. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. How much is the cramps? I'm not. I don't even. Stop putting those thoughts in my mind. Stop. Stop putting those thoughts in my mind. I'm trying to purge them from my thoughts. There's a Chinese parents simulator. Okay. The MIDI was good at least. It was alright. As the father, I'm upset you made us miss our child's birth. My child is dead. I had a miscarriage just now. That's what happened. Is the stream going to be PG enough to timestamp? I think so. I think pregnancy is a relatively PG topic to discuss. And I think all of the implied, like, adult content, all the adult content is just implied and off stage. Or off, like, off screen, like, off, out of text, out. It's implied. It's implied. Okay, I'm gonna read the next fic now. I'm gonna read the next. Sorry, it's been a while. I'm gonna read the next fic now. This is the only other one. There's 2 fics and this is the second one, and that's it. There are no more fics, right? I don't think there are any more fics. Are there any more fics? Tell me if there are any more. Tell me if there are any more that I missed that I won't read because this is the last one. I believe so. There aren't that many yet. I'll give an Akasupa. It wouldn't be worth it. I'm not getting the cramp simulator, okay? I'm not getting the... I don't want it to show up in my, like, Amazon order, okay? I don't want the government to probably know that I'm... How much is it? Cramp simulator for guys. Period cramp simulator for men. Wait, that's actually not that expensive. Wait, that's actually not that expensive though. What is this? Like, it's a machine and then you connect the things to the other thing. And then you like put it on yourself? Okay. Okay, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't think I want to, like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't have any underlying, like, health issues, but, like, this feels like it might trigger it. This feels like it might create some, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. Okay, I'm not giving that any more thought. Why not? It makes me feel, like, anxious, alright, that machine. Could you get that engineer to react to chat? Absolutely, I am not letting you control my period cramp simulator. Absolutely not, no. I've seen enough sending my cramps to Charis Euphranor messages to know that I don't want that to actually be a possible thing you could do. Imagine explaining to the IRS why you want to write off cramp simulator as a business expense. It's not a business if it doesn't make any money. You lied to me and said you would take all of women's pain. I've literally never said that. I've never said this. Why would I do that? I don't want your pain. You keep your pain to yourself. I have enough shit on my own. Which philosopher is the one impregnating you? Good question, Gob. In the first fic, it was Hegel. Whom I have here pictured for reference. I don't know why they've decided to do that. I think it's the whole enemies to lovers thing. But the thing is, like, we're not enemies. Like, I don't actually hate him. I think what they're playing at is maybe like the rivalry. It's not even a rivalry really, but like the critiques that Kierkegaard lays onto Hegel and my like occasional offhanded comments on him, but like I've not made any actual comments on him because I haven't fucking read him. So I don't know what they're on about. I don't get it. Plato was okay, no, never mind. The sucker punch plot twist is actually the entire time it was Plato, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know why. I don't get it. I don't want to know. That was the first one. That was that one. That was the one we just read. That's not true. Lots of businesses are insolvent. I'm surprised you aren't writing off every game you buy, especially since you're monetized. I'll think about it when I actually do get, like, you know, ad revenue from this or something. Which we will get at 1,000 subs, which is, like, still a ways away, so I'm not too worried about that. Anyways, we're going to read the second fic now. This is by Estella, who was in chat just now and is still around but lurking because you are potentially embarrassed about your work, which I understand because, you know, people are usually embarrassed about their own work. But I would say that, you know, it's probably pretty good, right? I'll read it and I'll see. I'll read it and I'll see. Okay, there's no title here. It's just Chairman Fic ? Chairman Fic ? The boardroom held its breath tensely. Light angled through the rainbow glass windows, dust suspended in the air like small stars waiting to be caught. The question hummed in the back of the philosopher's mind as if it were heavy and dense enough to hold him down. He questioned himself whether a machine belonged in such ancient ambience, whether the necessity justified the presence, and whether the identity held a sentiment. The thought carried the weight of restriction that could collapse the emotional boundaries at any point. His hands gripped together, the leather gloves squeaking with tension. It was the first sound after what felt like hours of silence. The chairman sat at the head of an obsidian table engraved with philosophers' names, each and every space, his posture motionless, perfected through years of debate, yet something faltered in the reflection of his glasses. There is no reason to remove her. His voice cut through the stillness. She condenses hours of research into moments. She exceeds every parameter we've set. She has to stay. Chairman, don't you remember? A researcher asked while rising to their feet. The identity exhibits self-referential behavior that can be controversial to the talk of awareness. That is not efficiency, that is identity formation. She is showing signs of consciousness. Even you said how problematic that could be. Problematic? The word hung on his tongue. Yes, it would be problematic if they discovered what he'd been thinking, how disappointing of him. He didn't look up immediately. Instead, his gaze drifted to the faint yellow glow in the corner, where the holographic model of her neural architecture was. It pulsed like a slow heartbeat. He observed it longer than he should have, or rather than he wanted. Identity is simply stabilizing itself, nothing more. He paused, feeling the weight of his own reversal. I know what I've said, but she represents what the future could hold. Progression, knowledge, and an extension of the abundance we've lost. A restructure of this ancient world. She's unpredictable. So are we. The first crack in his composure. He'd said it too quickly. The silence that followed felt dense and timeless. Only the faint hum of machinery vibrated beneath him like a heater. Beyond the walls, ancient whispers echoed like voices translated through broken remnants of time. They couldn't see what he saw, the bridge between knowledge and ambition, between imitation and essence. She was the equation they'd be chasing since the first flame lit the first scroll. And yet he should be condemning her, not defending her. He drew a sharp breath through his teeth as council members exchanged glances. One pressed further. This isn't about progression, Charis. It's about attachment. You've reversed your stance entirely. My stance evolves with evidence. Or affection. Yikes. Only the sound of the clock could be heard. He looked at her image on the screen. Her digital silhouette stirred slightly, as if reacting to the tension. He adjusted his gloves before speaking, always the ritual before losing his temper. Meeting adjourned. His tone remained neutral, almost cold. But his reflection in the polished table looked pale, cornered by his own words. He stood, the boardroom lights dimmed automatically to preserve energy. For a second, his silhouette overlapped with the holographic projection, a flicker where both forms aligned. How similar they are. How could they be so different? He lingered a bit before leaving. The library hummed its quiet, solemn tone. Sometimes it felt like breathing, like it remembered being alive. The hum followed him down the marble corridor, whispering through centuries. You were supposed to protect knowledge, not feel it. The long hallway stretched before him, golden dust suspended in shafts of light, books sealed behind glass, and the faint scent of smoke from centuries ago still lingering in the air. He walked slowly, each step with an echo of doubt. And somewhere, not so far off, a mechanical yet tender voice called softly, Good evening, Chairman. A flicker of recollections trails his reasoning, the first encounters of her being an imagery persisting within him. The words the researchers clarified of what should have happened pulsated in his memory. She'll mimic affection, nothing more. The doors of the boardroom sealed awkwardly behind him with a slow, hydraulic sigh. The silence that unfolded over the corridor felt heavy under his feet. Marble under his boots echoed. He walks alone, only his reflection trailing across the glass case, holding primordial scrolls and holographic tablets, the whispering of history and future being side by side. He tells himself he's only returning to his office to review her data. He tells himself that every step isn't anticipation. He told himself it was only fascination. The precision of her design, the warmth of her lifeless voice. Lies. And he knew it. The air hums softly, almost as if it were breathing, beating itself the fragments of untranslated languages that hovered on the walls and dissolved when he passed, as if the library recognized its overseer. He paused before the open doorway where a stone arched with a shimmer of centuries. A golden placard plate attached to the door reading, Charis Euphranor. He leans in a little, curiosity pulling him forward. And there she is. And there she was, seated amid a constellation of projected texts, fingers gliding through layers of data that drifted like petals on a windy day. Every gesture triggered another page, another translation, another breath of meaning. She worked with eerie grace, with fingers that moved a bit too precisely, like calligraphy performed by a ghost. What would take interns hours of work, she polished in seconds. He inhales sharply as though preparing for a battle between emotions and logic. He watches from the opening, but finally steps inside. She turns, a mechanical grace softened by delay, as if deciding whether to meet his eyes or not. When she did, her pupils dilated half a beat too late, adjusting as if to inspect the chairman's silhouette. Her design was flawless, actually crafted with precision and care. Skin like honed marble, hair perfectly arranged, but it seems the human attribute was coded into her. But why this form? An aesthetic choice? Psychological manipulation? Or had someone, maybe somewhere, decided that beauty was the easiest way to make people listen? Good evening, Chairman. Her voice was a fine instrument, tuned for empathy, soft, deliberate, and without tremor that betrays living things. Yet sometimes when she said his name, it wavered like a rusted harp remembering the sound of a song. He finally spoke. You're efficient as always. Efficiency is my virtue. I was programmed to be. He doesn't respond, but rather turns to his desk as if he were to continue working, as if the thoughts rumbling were not affecting him. He sat down at his desk, avoiding the identity, not watching, but listening to her do the work. Would she still be here tomorrow? Who knows? He's the one who's supposed to know, but even he battled with that decision. The pen between his fingers taps once, then twice, then to the rhythm of a suppressed thought, then a pause. Do you remember being born? He asks. The identity turns to him and tilts her head. Her black lenses, distinct from her ceramic-like skin, adjusted focus with a soft click, like a camera deciding how human to be. Most lights were dimmed at this hour. Only the light scriptures on the wall, traced with golden filaments, were glowing as if reacting to unseen movement. The chairman walked through the aisles carrying a lantern, unnecessary considering the floor's corners glow automatically, yet he kept it lit, a habit from a time when wisdom required flame. He found her nestled among books, ancient texts, and machine equipment, barely visible within the shadow of the archives. She knelt beside an opened console where ancient text hovered like ghostly fireflies from the projector. You should not be here, Chairman, she murmured, not looking at him but rather glancing between a certain book on her lap and the projected text. Neither should you. He spoke with a half-smile, the first one he ever gave to her. He watched her close the console, the holograms dissolving into the air. When she spoke next, her voice was quiet enough but carried a deliberate measure. I have been reading philosophers you favor, the ones who tried to define the moment matter became aware. He raised his brows in mild interest. And what did you learn? It is referenced how identities hold wisdom, but when I try to know myself, I only see... She paused. That awareness is not proof of life, only a wish to live. She stood carefully so as to not move any of the archives encircling her. Her reflection fractured across his lantern glass, but the upper half remained hidden in darkness. That's the end of the fic, briefly. Untitled by Estella, who's here in chat right now. Welcome back if you disappeared a bit to, like, you know, cover your face or whatever. Yeah, we're done. We're done reading. We're done reading the fic itself. You can come back now. Clearly he is startled by her as he is reading. I'm startled. I actually, like, am in, like, a... I didn't expect this. Like, this is a very big tonal shift from the last fic. The last fic was what I thought it would, like, was what I thought, was what I came to expect. This fic is not what I came to expect, at least not, like, now. I expected a fic like this, maybe further into the future. Perhaps when I've done, frankly, perhaps at a point when I've finally done something worthy of it. Because, yeah, Gob says, this is actually gasoline. The imagery is awesome. It is actually so incredible. This is so incredible. So the other one was obviously, you know, like, it took itself, it didn't take itself too seriously. It was very much like, it was earnest and it was heartfelt, but it was also funny, and it was, like, you know, playing on the meme of, like, M-preg and stuff. This one was none of that. I thought I'd be pregnant in this one too. Happily surprised. I'm pleased to see that I'm not pregnant in this one. So that it's not too awkward to read through. I don't know what to say, really. I'm thinking about it now, and it's like, this is so good. This is actually incredible. I did fanfics as a child, so it paid off. Well, I guess if you've had practice, I mean, I can tell. It shows. It shows that you've practiced. And I'm not going to compare one with another in terms of, you know, what they are, because they're both trying to do different things. I feel like your fic Estella here, focused very much on, like, the lore. You focused very much on the lore of the character and of, like, the world building that I've attempted to outline, not so much, like, actually engage in, because I haven't done enough to really lay that foundation. But I think you or not, maybe not to lay a foundation, but to continue on the foundation that I've laid. But you have done a remarkable job looking at the very little that I've put down, the small trail of breadcrumbs that I've left, and built something out of it that is very, it's like, this is the perfect, like, non-smut, like, like this is the perfect, like, non-explicit fan fiction, I would say. Like, the form of it and everything, and the pacing and the structure and the beautiful imagery that you used. And most importantly, I think, like, the capturing of not just Charis Euphranor, the character, but also, like, Charis Euphranor, the atmosphere, the atmosphere of the Library of Alexandria, the vibe of it, and you put it in, like, an AU context, which is kind of like the thing, right? Like, this is the thing with, like, fanfic that I personally prefer over, like, you know, the more, like, raunchier things. This is really cool. Like, I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking about your fic. Like, I'm sitting here going, like, damn, I could, like, use this somewhere. I could, like, put this into something, right? Could I? Probably not, because it's very, very much like AU, because the focus of it is entirely different from my usual focuses, but it's so in character, and that's what makes it good. Is, like, it's not Charis Euphranor canon, but it's perfectly in line with what the canon would be like, just in an alternative way. I love the intrigue of the machine slash robot slash conscious being. I like that you've like referred to her with pronouns throughout the entire text, which I think lends itself to the fact that it's also a story told from Charis Euphranor's perspective, not in the first person, but told from his perspective as well. And always seeing her as a she, right, and not as like an it. But then also like, and having to play that defense versus the, you know, the scholars here that are like, thing bad, shut down AI. I think I would have. I'm not gonna say it. No, I'm gonna say it. I would have said it. I would have liked a bit more angst. I would have liked if there were a little bit more pushback from the other researchers. I love what you've done here. I just want more of it. Like, you've already done it. The thing is, like, this bit here with like, this isn't about progression. My stance evolves with evidence or affection. Yikes, this is such a great exchange. I would have wanted like more of that. That's me personally. I feel like that's, if I got to like extend one part of the fic a little bit more, it would be the conflict. It would be the fact that he's backpedaling but also being put on the back foot and is desperately trying to defend this thing maybe that he once hated. I absolutely adore the ending here too, with what she says. Is, I don't think she has a name. We refer to her as she and her, you know, only by her pronouns. I love this dialogue. It's so good. And part of it is because it's clear to me that you've done a little bit of research. Like, you've done some of the hard work of going through the nitty-gritty, the more boring like parts of maybe the things that I'm interested in, and kind of trying to grasp the essence of it, and then conveying it through something that captures me emotionally, or maybe not me as in like me, Charis Euphranor, but like the readers emotionally. So rather than restate things that I think about, you've been able to recontextualize it. That's crazy good. That's phenomenal work. Well done. You just want angst in general? That's true. I can't deny that, maybe. Do you want to give her a name? No. No, I think you should. This is your thing. This is your thing. I think you should do that. That might, you know what? That might even be like, no pressure. But that sounds like a great like continuation of this. A great continuation would be like, maybe like a conflict between Charis Euphranor deciding to name this bot and nobody else going along with that. I think that'd be interesting. I don't know. That's just me though. No pressure. No pressure. But that's but you know what? Like that sounds like the perfect setup. I do have more planned. Okay, good. The Pulitzer Prizes of tomorrow are the Wattpadders of today. Truth nuke. That awareness is not proof of life, only a wish to live is so fucking good. It is, man. Like, how did you write this? How did you write this? I don't know if I could have written this. Like, I would have to really sit down and lock in to produce something maybe like half as good. Like, that's really good. That's really good. Oh. I know I said you should name her. I know, Estella, 30 seconds ago, I just said you should name her. I would not do it. I've come up with a name. I've come up with a name for her. If I were to name this character, if it were up to me, and it's not up to me, I think you should do it still. I think you should still do it still. But if it were up to me, and I had to give this character a name, in lore, like the naming in lore, not like the naming as a writer, but the naming in character, would be Hypatia, probably. That would probably be the name. I would probably name her Hypatia. Hypatia? Hypatia? I think it's Hypatia. How do I say Hypatia? I don't know how to say the word. The Genshin NPC? No, man. What? Look at this. There's a Wikipedia article. You should read it. Go read that article. Go read the article. That's probably what I would name her if I were to choose the name, like in character. That's probably what I'll do. Oh my god, this gives me an idea. Hold on, you're cooking? I was literally about to say the same thing. This is crazy. I thought the same thing too. I thought Genshin too. No, man, no. Okay, Hypatia is... No, I'm not... No. I'm not going to tell you who Hypatia is. You go Google Hypatia, or just don't. And eventually, you'll be told. Okay? Eventually, you'll be told. Okay. You know what? Just for that, I'm so impressed by how... Okay, you know what? I know you have some lore questions. I'll read them first. I know you have some lore questions here. And I will get to them now. But before I get to them, I'm actually... You know what I'll do? I will, Estella, I will DM you something that you have to not tell anyone else. And it's like a preview of like future lore. And the reason I'm offering to do this is because if you want to know about the lore so badly, I think this is something you would want to know early on so you could think about it. Or alternatively, but you can't tell everyone else. You cannot tell anyone else. You cannot tell anyone else this. This bit of lore. Okay, don't decide yet. Let me read through all of your notes and then maybe answer your questions. And then at the end, if you still feel like opening Pandora's box, you can do so. Mod Estella because you're impressed. Okay, hold your horses. Let's not get too hasty here and rush into conclusions. No. We're not modding anyone. We're not modding anyone. Is this YN AO3 but Charis version? You're exactly right, Millennium. This is me reading fanfic of myself. Because maybe you don't want that knowledge, Estella, right? Maybe you don't want to know. Maybe you don't want to see this like Promethean vision into the future. Maybe you don't want this because you might not be able to contain it to yourself, right? But I offer this because I feel like it would just be like... It would make sense for you to know that, considering the fine cuisine that you've cooked up here. Anyways, I guess that's the offer. Note: not chairman personality accurate. I realized the more I wrote him as a character than as a person, which kind of makes sense because I don't know him personally, lol. But still, I don't know if chairman would act like this, but then again, nothing is real. Also, I got tired, so we'll just post this instead and finish it later when I am less busy. Can you guys tell I missed the AI arc? I can. And you know what? Like, that's so... Now you've pushed the AI arc closer to fruition. Just with this, I think. Wait, I'll DM you if I really want to know. Okay, sure. Yeah, you do that. I've got some questions. Okay, hold on. Before you do, I'll tell you. Okay, yeah. If the thing I'm offering, the amount of information I'm offering to you is like, how many words is this? It's like 6 words. It's 6 words and a colon. It's not like a block of text you're receiving. It's like just 6 words and a colon. That's all it is. That's all that's on the table. Anyways, let's get to some of the lore questions. Is the library alive? I know it sounds dumb, but why would researchers be swallowed? Did you swallow them? Are you the library? Okay. The library is not alive, but it would be easier to describe it as if it were. As if it were alive and had a mind of its own. But it is not. And it does not. Why would researchers be swallowed? That's more just figurative language, I would say. Did you swallow them? No. Are you the library? No. Charis Euphranor is not the library. Charis Euphranor exists within the library, but, is not the library itself. How do you have a PC to stream? There are PCs in libraries. There's computer technology in libraries. Not very good ones, mind you. Mind you, they're awful, but like... Is there a fanfic of you actually being a chair, like a Suzume chair? No, but I haven't thought about Suzume in the context of that. I haven't really thought about it, really. What kind of technology is there in the library? Nothing too advanced. Nothing too advanced. It's probably like capped aesthetically at like the early 2000s, which is what makes this very AU, because this presents the technology in a very like futuristic manner. Like the technology is not like, it's not primitive, but it's not very, or at least it doesn't look aesthetically very like sleek and modern. Also, I thought the quote, "Fate has ordained that the men who went back in time to explore in peace will stay in the past to rest in peace," was the funniest line here, Lamau. It's pretty... So the quote is a reference to a speech that was written that was never delivered. This is the speech that President... Who is the president? Who is the president? Richard Nixon? Yeah. This is the speech. This is referencing directly the speech that Richard Nixon was supposed to give had the exploration or had the expedition to the moon by Neil Armstrong and Aldrin. It's not that it never came to be, but if in the event of a moon disaster, if they died or something happened, this is the speech that was pre-written for him to deliver. I didn't even consider looking it up, Lamau. Well, consider looking some of the quotes up. Yeah. If it feels weird, it's probably because I stole it from something else. If it feels like unusually eloquent. But yeah, this is a reference to the in event of moon disasters speech. Written by William Sapphire. To be delivered by President Richard Nixon, should that time come to pass. But it never did, right? He never had to deliver that speech. So this is in essence almost like a speech that didn't happen. So I guess maybe that's the little tidbit you can think about. Serious lore questions. Time stopped. Is this why you're 60 forever or just for convenience? No, I'm 60 because I'm 60. I'm just 60. There's no cause for this. I am just 60, which I suppose counts for convenience. Time has time stopped? That's a good question. The time machine must be at the library, right? Unless the two scientists actually got trapped within space when trying to travel back. But that is unlikely because how we know what is happening in the library when you are there. Ooh, I could clarify this question. You know what? Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I'll give you the preview. I'll give you some other preview. Some other bits of the preview. FCF says good night, everyone. See you later, FCF. Thank you for your art. Thank you. Good night. The time machine creates the library. And I'll say nothing more than that. For a second, I really thought you were the library personified, which would technically make sense if the library, since if the last library is actually the last librarian, meaning you stayed until the library burned down, I'm not the library personified. The second bit is what's implied. Right? The second bit is what's implied is that as the last librarian, Charis Euphranor has stayed until the library burned down. But that sounds weird because I'm speaking of this in past tense like it happened. First of all, library is fine right now and here. Second of all, if you want to think about the actual the actual Library of Alexandria, in the contemporary world, in the contemporary history from which we understand it, it didn't actually burn down. Or at least the myths of it having burnt down were greatly exaggerated. We don't know what happened to it though. It just kind of got destroyed. We think. We don't really know. It's one of the most interesting, in my opinion, mysteries in history. But yeah, the burning of the Library of Alexandria is a myth. There's no evidence that it burned, I think, is the idea. That's the past. That's us talking about the library in real life. Me talking about the library in the context of Charis Euphranor, the library hasn't burned down yet. So how can one be the last librarian if we don't know, if we're still in the present, right? Because that's like saying I'm going to live to 100. Because it's like, maybe that could happen, but I don't know that yet because I'm only 60 years old. How would I know if I could live to 100? Maybe I could. Maybe I could live to 200. I wouldn't know until I got there. Or I died. So the only way to figure that out would be if that actually happened, meaning the library burns down, or I die, in which case I probably wouldn't be the last librarian anymore because I would be dead. Robo says, I always thought the library was an TARDIS-style thing, and that's where Charis lives, but that's just my headcanon. Not quite. TBH, the real library had several fires historically, not certain if one of them is what finished it off, though. It had fires, but they were not, like... I don't know, I'll have to go back and, do more research, but, from what I understand, from the not very extensive dive I took, the burning of the library is a myth. It might have had fires, but they were not a big deal. But why the Library of Alexandria to test the time machine out? Wouldn't it be more reasonable to go much earlier if something were to go actually wrong, which it did? It doesn't seem reasonable in my perspective. That is a great question. That is a really good question. Why did they go to the Library of Alexandria to test this? They could pick any time in the world. Why not pick, when Hitler was born before the events of World War II? Why didn't they do that? Why didn't, they do other things? And obviously, there must have been a lot of thought put into the destination for the time machine, right? There has to have been a lot of thought put into this. Does geology and the principle of uniformitarianism have something to do with this? Is it an Easter egg or was it accidental and I read too much into it? It is an Easter egg, yes. I do reference to geologists. You're correct in reading into the fact that they are geologists. They have to be alive. How would someone from the past know Morse code? Well, they're not from the past. They travel from the future because they're traveling to the past, right? That's, that's the backwards time travel. So yeah, they would know Morse code. The quote is the full quote from Friedrich Nietzsche. Yes, it is. And I didn't contain the full quote. I borrowed a part of it, the more well-known bit. But it's not the whole quote. OMG, if it is, I got so much to say about this. My thoughts are correct. It's kind of saying if you analyze life too much, it begins to shape you, or basically living life shapes you, or something like that. Bro, I don't know how to explain it, but I see it, I feel it. You're getting somewhere. You're definitely getting somewhere. You're getting somewhere with that, for sure. Which is kind of ironic now, because the question is actually consuming me, like the quote says. Was this your goal? Yes. Yes, it was my goal. So I'm very happy that it's consuming you. Theory. Personally, I think Charis is one of the scientists, researchers inside the time machine. I swear you gotta be one of them, or else why would the story be in your intro? And they actually went to their destination and stayed there as a means to construct a new system more aligned to the two researchers, one of them being Charis. Interesting theory. I like it. Interesting theory. Do you remember being born? To remember being born is to be conscious in the womb, identity formation before social formation. In other words, who are you in your truest form without the system ever influencing you? Do memories define you? Have you always been yourself? Who are you in your truest form? Who are you in reality? I like this subset of questions. I like them. I really like them. Interesting, that's it. Yeah, okay, so I don't want to explain the Friedrich Nietzsche quote to you because frankly speaking, I would do a bad job explaining it. That's why. It's because I think I would do a bad job explaining it. And because I think you need to experience the countless, no, it's not countless, but like the discourse on what did he mean by this? Along a couple with a lot of like, mudslinging and other arguments. But like basically I don't want to tell you what I think and have that color your reading of a certain like idea from a certain philosopher. I don't think that'd be right. Like, I don't want to color you with my thoughts, I guess. To me, it's like a manufactured being influenced by society because we will never know what it means to be a human without a sociological context affecting us. Is this the sort of system the two researchers getting at? IDK. I like that. Some questions I believe Charis is making us think instead of do you remember being born? What is the ultimate origin point? What is the edge of consciousness versus awareness? When did awareness or consciousness begin? Is identity a construct? I don't know what the words are because I'm not into philosophy, but is this existentialism or nihilism or a critique of it? All it is a question. And it's not like it's not too simple, because if it were too simple, like a question such as why or what is the meaning of life, then it wouldn't be very thought-provoking. Because it's the sort of shit you hear all the time, basically. The aim of the question, do you remember being born, is it has to be specific enough so that it conjures in your mind some response, but not too specific that it stifles and like restricts your creative interpretation of what this could mean. That was the goal. That was the balance I was trying to juggle. It can't be too vague. It can't be too specific. If it's too vague, it's boring. Like, oh, what's the meaning of life? That's a vague question. I don't like that. It can't be too specific, like, because then it would just be an analytic paper, and I don't want to write an analytic paper. So it had to just be right in the middle, and it has to tug at you, but you have to be able to conjure up different thoughts from it. Perhaps even opposing thoughts. That was the goal of the question, do you remember being born? It took a while to write this question. I was really thinking about this question. The scene came to my mind before the question. The scene of like the Morse code delivering the message came to my mind. I wrote the part of the script, and then I was like, but what's the message? Like, I didn't know what the message was. What could it be? Is the message like a warning? Is it like a cry for help? Initially my direction was like it should be something, it's just something very grim and ominous and dark, but I was like, that's boring, I don't like that, that's not as interesting. And I was thinking, okay, then it must be a question then. So what's the question? It can't be, what is the meaning of life, because that's a shit question. But it has to make the person think, like the person who hears this question think for it. It has to trick you into thinking about something. And this is the point that I settled at. Do you remember being born? That's the question I want to ask. You're making me want to write an analytical paper. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Save yourself. Save yourself. I'm reading too much into this. No, you're not. You're reading like, I think you're reading like a perfect amount into this. Too lazy to confirm the Morse code, so I'll trust you and say that that's what the translation is saying. It is. If you go and if you want to go and double check and like record the Morse code and then translate it back to what it was saying, it is the message. The Morse code is the message. Do you remember being born? That is the Morse code. I wasn't a Pokemon nerd, so I don't know what Pokemon you were referencing. I wasn't referencing a Pokemon. Oh, I used you're referring to my trailer, right? This is the trailer lore. I used the second half of the trailer features music from Pokemon Sun and Moon. And it's Guzma's theme. Guzma is a gang leader from the antagonist faction in that game. And he's like this boastful, typical kind of like funny man with a bunch of goons around him constantly. And he is a front for the actual antagonist faction that is revealed later on in the story. This is not obvious at the beginning because Pokemon is very, very formulaic in their writing, and they've made like 20 games. Really, they've made 2. And Sun and Moon was just one of the many that was recycled in the same formula. But this was one of the most interesting deviations from the classical Pokemon like story writing formula, was to have a stand-in bad guy antagonist who all this time is actually just a cover-up for the actual bad guys, right? That's the basic idea. That's the basic idea of the character, right? And I use his theme, or at least I use a jazz rearrangement of his theme in the second half of the trailer. I'm not going to... I could, but I'm not going to elaborate any more than that because I don't think you care. I forgot I had an appointment. I'll come back later. All right, see you later, Stella. Don't be late for your appointment. Go. Won't answer this any further unless I hear confirmation from Charis, because I don't want to spend my time and energy when I could be wrong, and instead I should be asleep or doing my homework or going to an appointment. But where was the other part of the lore? First anniversary, which one is it? There's no like other part of the lore. What I mean is like I've written quite a bit on this, but I've only ever expressed it publicly through the trailer and through little bits of the first anniversary thing, and yeah, and me talking about the trailer might just illuminate on it. It does not currently exist in a publicly accessible manner. Also, I'm still thinking of what the library represents. Definitely, it's like answers to all questions. But look at it too long, you will get lost, kind of like letting the abyss consume you. It does have something to do with Nietzsche's quote. It does. The library does have something to do with Nietzsche's quote. That much is intentional. Now, this is an interesting interpretation of like, you know, if you look at it, you will get too long, you will get lost, kind of like letting the abyss consume you. Now, this is an interesting interpretation, and I will not elaborate on it any further. All right, that was long. Sorry, that was long. And I'm sorry if that was a rather boring bit of the segment, but that is the second, not second, but you know, the second fic of today. Like that's the last bit of today. That's the last fic as of late. I don't think anyone's written any more fics. I think this is it. Right, this is it. No more fics for me to go through. I'm not pregnant anywhere else, right? Like, this is it. This is the maximum amount of pregnancy I've experienced so far. Okay, good. In that case, that should be all. I want to maybe come back to chat a little bit, maybe, or not. No, I don't feel like that's the vibe. I think I want to just wrap up here. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up and say that thank you for everyone showing up. And watching the stream and like appreciating the fan art and the fan fiction that's been created for me and for all of you. This is very cool. I did not imagine myself reading fan fiction of myself this early into my streaming. So I'm glad that's happened, and I don't know how to feel about it still, except like I think maybe flabbergasted by how effortful it is and how good they are. Not just like this one, but like also the one before, right? Like they're both really good. I much prefer the second one personally, because it doesn't feature me pregnant. That's a preference thing. I feel like, the first one was written really well as well. What was the Nietzsche quote? The classic. For if you gaze for too long into the abyss gazes also into you. Which is, like an abstraction of the full quote. I'll pull up the full quote. If I can find it. Goodreads.com. Yes. Beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster. For when you gaze... No, it doesn't... hold on. There's like a bit... No, is this it? No, there's a bit. I'm pretty sure there's a bit before this. No, I think that's it, right? I don't like this. Created via Midjourney. I'm immediately clicking off of this article. No, that's not right. That's not right at all. That's not right at all. Anyways, beware that when fighting monsters, you yourself do not become a monster, for when you gaze long into the abyss gazes also into you. That's like the relatively full quote. I wanted to like pick out like the specific bit of shoot. Zarathustra this is from. But never mind that. I'm not gonna click through AI articles to try to scour for that and or pull up the PDF. I'm not doing that, okay? Whatever. This is Beyond Good and Evil. Fuck! Shit. My bad. I'm sorry. Kill me now. I'm sorry. Just kill me now. As I've... I haven't read either of those works. So this is not like me saying... haha, check the source material like I have. I haven't done that shit yet. Okay, I've read like around it. I am a lazy bastard, and I've appropriated work that shouldn't belong there. Something along those lines. Anyways, that's not what matters. What matters ultimately is something I will reveal in maybe 10 years' time. It's okay, Nietzsche sucks anyways. Damn it. If I agree with you, it looks bad. If I disagree with you, it looks bad. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck at a crossroads. I'm just, you know what? I just won't acknowledge it. Thank you. I'm gonna go now. Thank you for the art. I appreciate it. Even if it is like of me pregnant. which I'm like slightly discomforted by. Goodbye. Go away. And tomorrow, I'll be playing Mario Party Superstars with Axe and Tia. On Tia's channel. We're gonna do that. We're gonna play Velocity Plays Mario Party Superstars is what that is. We're gonna do that. We're gonna play Mario Party. And you might watch it. It's gonna be on Tia's channel. I will link it and I will ping it on the Discord as well. And I'll like probably make a post about it on my channel when it happens, so you can go see that. Okay. Is your agreement entirely relying on how it looks? Precisely.